Hi, I'm Chef Leo.
Hi, I'm Chef Theo, and this is The Confessions of a Private Chef.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is our first show that we've done in about 6 months, I think.
Yeah,
right?
it's been a while.
6 months. And it sounds a little weird right now because we're sitting outside. Hopefully I can fix this shit a little bit. I hear, like, you can hear cars in the background and shit. We're in the backyard. We're not sitting, behind a fire, nice table. And we have these, other 5 stud, manly guys here. It's like when you think of, like, Texas or local, these are the guys that we get together because
This is amazing.
Because the product they produce, the hospitality they provide, and just overall just badasses here locally. It was funny because it was like my friend, we were talking about it before we got started. It's like, we keep up with all the local shit going on in town. It's like, man, I don't want to sound like the negative guy here, but it's like a bunch of posers coming in, and trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, man, we're doing this and that, but we'll see how long it lasts. Hopefully it lasts to get a while because you want the community to do good, businesses to do good, but we'll see. But I hope I'm I don't pray much, but I'm praying that it works out,
sure.
But anyways, good to see you, brother.
Oh yeah, man. Drove up today, 4.5 hour drive. And we didn't actually do any stops, so that was a little bit of a rough thing, but yeah, man, I'm glad we made it. And you and I talked like a couple days ago, and I was like, what if we just did like a holiday episode?
Yeah,
where we just got some people together, and all friends of the show, people that have been on before, and we kind of wrap the year up and just we can vent, we can scream, we can do whatever.
That's why we're outside, right?
We can drink.
Well, not only that, but it's like people also need to know a little bit what's been going on as well throughout the year. It's
For sure.
At least 6 months. Like, you started saying that you drove up here like 4.5 hours, and people don't know you moved away, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. So I did move away. I moved in September. September 1st is actually the day we left Fredericksburg. We moved to College Station, back to our the place where we came from, and it's been good though. I've been able to rebuild our little meal prep business there, and I got a lot of great opportunities. So yeah, it's been really cool. But we have been back a lot because my wife still works and plays weddings here, so we come up pretty frequently. So that's when Leo and I, we said, well, we'll keep this going, But unfortunately, the past couple trips have been kind of like wham bam, we got to come and go so quickly. But this time we're having a little bit more time, and we're staying right at Hoffman House, which is right down the road. So normally when we stay, we have a lot of friends that have places for us to stay, and we always end up staying on the outskirts of town or out of town. So it makes it a little bit more challenging to get up and hang out and do stuff like this. But what a great opportunity. We got a beautiful spread. Chef cooked some really amazing stuff. We got chili, cornbread, some boudin that I've heard is the best in the world. I still got to try some.
That's what Jeff said.
Yeah. And,
Brandon said that too.
Yeah, and we got some great people here, man.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
great community.
It's been a while. So we got at the table, we have Jay. I'm not going to say his last name because I always want to say, something else.
I call him Jay Cast Iron.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know.
I want to say like Melon Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's got melon in the cock. Jay, Jeff Missouri, the OG.
Oh, yeah.
The guy can turn dirt into gold. That's Jeff Missouri. Buddy Brandon Vineyard. Brandon rubs elbows with every fucking distillery in the U.S.
Oh my God.
No, the guy,
Fast
he brought a
knowledge.
big spray. We have how many bottles do we have up there, Brandon?
7.
7? Oh man, from all over the U.S. It's fucking crazy. I got my buddy, the German.
The one and only.
Oh, I know, man. God, do we call him out by his name, or do we just call him German all night?
Yeah, German's good.
Oh, dude. Everybody knows Henry Goodkin.
Yes, sir.
Goodkin, such a badass too, man. I mean, it's good to be in a German town with a German chef who actually does authentic German cuisine, not this, make-believe sweet sweet shit.
Hamburger helper.
Yeah.
He was the first chef I met in town when he was working at Otto's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first chef I met in
Super
town.
like sweet face. Yeah, I know. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And of course, my buddy, my good buddy over here, Tyler.
The Wine Viking.
The Wine Viking. Did you trim your beard, brother?
I did.
It's not coming down to your chest anymore.
I know. I had to church it up a little bit.
Why?
I had to trim it a little bit.
Was your girl getting upset? Was it getting in the way?
No. It was just, I go to customers and facings and stuff like that, and I was just like...
Pouring wine with her fucking beard into wine?
Right. Once it touches the wine, it turns to mead, It's the magic beard, but...
That's fine, dude. He goes, you want some cheese? You shake it up a little bit.
I don't have any crackers. No, I got you.
Got you. Cracker, give him crackers.
Yeah. Right.
Love it, brother.
Good,
yeah, dude. So, 6 years have passed. Well, 6 months have passed. I swear, I've only worked on a half a glass of whiskey. I'm not drunk yet.
Yeah, but Jeff poured you a pretty big one.
Dude, it's 8 ounces of whiskey.
No dilution.
For sure. So, we can start around the table. I would start with Jay, but Jeff seems a little antsy over there. So we're going to start off with Jeff tonight, just in case he says, I'm feeling tired. I got to go. So like in the last time we had Jeff was probably about a year ago.
Yeah,
or longer than a year ago.
Yeah, it would have
been
been
a bit.
Yeah, August.
About hospitality.
Right.
Yeah, of course. And of course, Jeff. How many, if we say rooms and not just houses or apartments or B&Bs that you have, how many rooms do you think you could say you have?
I don't know. Just take a bit of count.
Let's say 100. Am I close?
Yeah.
So let's say you have 100 rooms, guys, and you get $200 a room, and you get rented out at least 50% of the time. God, this guy's probably the richest man in town right now. But he's the sweetest man too, man. So.
I still remember the Cybertruck.
Oh, dude. The beast.
Yeah,
Y'all want to go for a ride?
That was terrifying.
Who took the ride that day?
Oh yeah, Brandon was with us.
Yeah. We felt our balls go all the way from the front to the back. It literally, really was. You still have that gay truck, right?
Yeah, it's outside.
I will say though, my 6 and 8-year-old think I'm the coolest person in the world because I've actually ridden in one.
Oh,
they
really?
call a Cybertruck out every time they see one. I'm like, Dad drove him.
In the fastest one. How fast does that thing go, Jeff?
I think it only tops out at 130 because it has 37-inch tires on it, so it's
but 0 to 60 in what?
yeah, it'll outrun a 911 Porsche pulling a trailer with a 911 Porsche on back.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, how 0 to 60? How fast?
I don't know,
dude.
I don't
2
know what
seconds.
Yeah, it's 2.9 or something like
fast
that.
enough.
2.8.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, any faster and it's just like you're pissing over like fractions of seconds. At that point, that's like probably the fastest, like
Truck.
0 to 60.
Yeah,
for sure.
So what do you say? Last 6 months, how do you think business has gone for you here in Fredericksburg? Slow?
I have been busy for the fact on our weekends when there's nothing going on. We have a wedding going on every Friday and Saturday, so my business is crazy. I think we broke a record this year, actually.
Really?
As everybody else is.
Everybody was bitching about. Yeah, everybody was bitching about it's so fucking slow.
Yeah.
I know July was slow. For all businesses, everyone I talked to was like, everything's slow.
We had 7 events going on, so we were just
Yeah.
People still want to get married, right?
Yeah,
And then of course
July's
and they need a place to sleep.
sold out, and everybody's, if they book my venue, they're booking we sleep 185 people on the one site, so.
Do you have, every time somebody books you, do you have any assholes or anybody complaining about something? And it's like, or have we gotten better? Because the hospitality is
You'll get something, they'll ask, or they're trying to get a discount somehow or another. Mm-hmm. I had a lady one time, she was really upset because we didn't have a parking garage for her car at our ranch.
Oh, shit. Oh, no, the tree wasn't good enough?
We didn't advertise it, so.
A parking garage.
Yeah.
So her car would be
People leave the city.
protected,
Yeah, they don't know what to do.
Has anybody here been to Jeff's place out there at? You have, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Have y'all just to check it out, right? Not to go for an event, or did you go for?
We had an event out there with the Nimitz Foundation years ago, and then I'd help like Jasper set up weddings and stuff out there and things like that. So
back when Jasper was,
But I mean, yeah, that was 8 years ago, so I haven't been out there.
And
in a
it's
long
growing
time.
since then. What's new out there?
Well, I'm breaking ground on 10 new cabins.
Wow.
I'm putting in a lake. We're building 10 cabins around a lake. We're going to
That's
call
awesome.
it Lost Crystal Lake Cabins
Crystal Lake.
from Friday the 13th. Crystal Lake.
Are you really gonna do that? You gonna call it that? Or you shouldn't?
I don't know. It's up in the air.
It's always on there, yeah.
Dude, but you could totally make that a whole branding thing. People would just go just to see that, you know?
Yeah. We'll have Freddie's cabin, his mom, which is Pamela,
Yeah.
and just go down the line.
Yeah, people love theme shit like that.
They do.
Yeah, and this is actually not near the cabin, so it's on another 100 acres, 1,500 feet away from the other cabins. So it's in the woods. There's trees that wrapped around the lake,
Oh, yeah, man.
Wow.
Wow.
and then the cabins are going to go all the way around it.
Did you have the chapel out there the last time we talked? Or you're just building it?
Yeah.
You had it?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
that
yeah,
chapel's pretty badass.
Yeah, I took my mom out there on her birthday because I was doing something, and she hadn't gone out to Jeff's place. And Jeff, he'll come over to the house sometime, and my mom loves him. So I took my mom out there, and I go, I'm gonna go show mom the chapel. My mom's a ordained pastor. She goes up there and she just starts singing in there.
Yeah.
And have it recorded because the acoustics in there are so awesome.
Yeah, Natalie says you have the best acoustics in town. Yeah, when she plays violin there, it's like phenomenal.
Yeah, I have soundboard that you can't see that I hid in the beams. You don't even know it's there unless you put it there.
Right. And you
Yeah,
put it there.
I
So,
tricked it out.
yeah, it's pretty pimp, man. So I mean, you've been doing good, right? So everything's been good.
Yeah, we got like 90 events going on right now.
What's the name of your wedding video? Or your venue?
It's the Lodge at Country Inn and Cottages.
And where's that at?
It's on Lower Crabapple,
Okay.
just 3 miles down Lower Crabapple from the elementary school.
Now I know like which place you're talking about.
Just right down the street from you, where the kitchen is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your kitchen's right there around the corner. You're using what's it called? Swallow's Eve.
I'm using Swallow's Eve now.
Oh yeah,
as
yeah.
a-
They're I'm just a little farther out, about
Yeah.
2 miles or a mile and a half.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know it because every time when I'm riding my bike, and going lower Crabapple,
Yeah.
and I'm passing that. You have the high fence there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He used to have all the elk out there, and
Yeah.
dude, tell us a story about the elks. He
Yeah,
used
what
to have
happened to
elks
that?
there all the time, and now all of a sudden,
all we got is access now.
yeah. But why don't you have the elks anymore?
It's just insurance deals. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. The insurance will
Oh,
tell you
that's
not to
a
get
nice
elk
venue.
anymore.
Yeah, they wouldn't let anybody have buffalo or elk, just
Really?
because they're having so many issues in Yellowstone National Park, and it was one of the largest statewide companies that they just said anybody with elk or buffalo, no more. They wouldn't insure you anymore.
They should get rid of that shit.
Risk assessment, all that crap.
And I thought maybe Jeff was gonna fucking make steaks and shit. And he ended up selling them for like $20,000 a pop.
Damn.
I did shoot 2 axes yesterday.
Really?
8 a.m. Man, it was cold. It's like 33.
Where the fuck
34
are they,
degrees.
man? We could have had them on the fire right here.
It's in Comfort.
No.
I mean Stonewall at that smokehouse over there.
It's crazy. God, dude.
Nice, dude.
What do you
On the
think
next episode,
you make different as maybe other compare venues, wedding venues specific at your place? When you say, okay, you have almost like 90 bookings, which is a lot.
Yeah.
During like the wedding season, it means like, okay, you are literally twice events. per
Yeah, we
week.
do like a rehearsal dinner on Fridays, wedding on Saturday, and then we do corporate retreats during the week.
Okay.
And we're doing like some weddings on like a Sunday, a Monday, and a Wednesday. So we do.
That's a lot, bro.
Rock and roll.
So is
yeah.
your place more like an all-inclusive, where they don't have to leave the property in order to book everything, so you can do dinners and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, for sure. You basically pull into a private electric gates, park in front of your cabins, and you throw the keys in the floorboard, and you never have to leave the property
That's why
till
I
it's
think
time
a
to go
lot of
back to
people-
work.
People enjoy that because
You have a rehearsal dinner on
Right,
site, you
right.
can skeet shoot on site,
Right.
you get married in the chapel, and when we're doing a thing where you do a service on Sunday before you leave town as Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, that's
With
rad.
Grandma and Grandpa in the room.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
a pimp, man. God damn, Ollie. It's
that's-
everything, bro.
That's the thing. What a lot of people are looking for is that one key turnkey,
Yeah.
and especially for events and then your bigger events. They don't want to drive anywhere. They don't want to do buses or anything. You just park and go, which is awesome.
Yeah, nobody. The bad uncle doesn't have to drink and drive anywhere.
No shit. Man. Somebody gets fucking upset or gets in a fight. Go to your room.
That's right.
It's like,
Oh, we've had some where we had to,
Sure.
you know.
I've been to some of those. Yeah.
Cousin Eddie.
that's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
He's as happy as can be.
He's great. Everybody else is like, oh my god.
We found some laying out in the yard at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, still sleeping.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
So
I saw
how
some
you
with it.
handling the entire F&B program if you're saying like, okay, they don't have to leave your property almost like for 3 days in a row, right?
Yeah, or more, yeah.
So do you have a restaurant on site? Or what is?
What usually happens, they'll coordinate. We'll have like some food trucks that'll come in for like breakfast and lunch for everybody
Okay.
sometimes, and or they'll have a good uncle that actually will be cooking breakfast and lunch. We've had some grandparents where they're out there making getting menudo ready for 1 a.m. in the morning, you know, and after the wedding,
crazy,
you
man.
know.
Wow.
So you cater to Mexicans too, is what you're saying?
we have a lot of the mariachi bands all the time, actually.
Nice.
So yeah, it's always a surprise. Usually,
Yeah, man.
like somebody don't know about it, and they're like, okay, they're coming in, and then
Yeah.
they're gonna surprise everybody, and then they get the outfits and their guitars and all that
It's
stuff.
badass, dude. I've cooked for a lot of. I've cooked, and they always bring mariachi bands, you know, in for entertainment. I think that's pretty freaking cool.
Sounds like a cartel wedding.
Been there, done that.
I just
yeah.
booked an Indian wedding yesterday. It's a 3-day event.
Bollywood.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like dancers and flowers everywhere and
It's
shit.
gonna be
They're gonna request
it's
elephants.
300 people.
Elephants,
so
yeah.
3 days, three events.
Yeah,
Damn,
they know
dude.
how to party
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. You're gonna be. That smell's gonna seep into all the.
Oh shit, man.
I hate to tell you that. Yeah.
Yeah, we just did a wedding. It was the bride and groom. They lived in Oklahoma, and they kept saying that, you know, they were raising deer for a living, and that's how they got their money. And they kept going along with it. Well, when they checked in, like everything they had smelled like weed. I mean, you got close to her vehicle, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I walked into a room. The girls were like, these 3 girls were wanting to watch something on TV, and they didn't know how to work the direct TV. And I walked in there, and the whole room was like,
Smoked out.
like they
Like
didn't
hot
smoke
box?
in there, but they
Oh,
had
no?
a bag of something that smelled like a skunk.
Right. He was
And
like,
then
hey,
throughout the day, every time they pulled up in their meal, you could be a little ways from it, and you could smell it coming towards you.
Wow.
The planner smelled like it. All their decorations smelled like the whole venue smelled like
weed.
like skunk.
Wow. Yeah. Skunk.
And I come to find out, he was also a hemp grower in
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma, and he had dispensaries, 6 in Oklahoma and 6 in California.
And so he was trying to keep that away from saying that.
Yeah, he never told me.
But
I found out through the-
he never saw it.
one of the girls had a
But he had bread. He had
license
he had
plate that
dreads and he
said
had-
puff something on it. and I asked her, I said, okay, what's the deal about and they kept driving off. They'd go drive up to the cabin and come back.
Yeah.
So I know what they were
Take
doing.
a hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And come back.
Also, it's not weed anymore. It's hemp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
It's been
yeah.
rebranded.
Social
Right.
acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my bad.
We do hemp.
Oh, hemp.
We do
my
hemp.
bad.
Yeah.
We don't smoke pot.
Did anybody bring any hemp tonight?
You didn't know that weed has now a gender.
No, I know. Right? So speaking of smoke, we were smoking cigars tonight, and it's like, it's great because I normally just smoke with one person at a time.
Yeah.
So we'll be smoking, except Jay over here. He's he's not
Sweet.
smoking
Yeah,
shit.
just
I'm
take
looking
on a
at
sweet
him.
one.
I know that's okay, Jay. We're not going to pressure you to do anything.
The smooth, the light.
But hey, have some. What are you drinking, Jay?
I'm actually drinking coffee. I'm in coffee season. Coffee all the time. Yeah.
Bourbon goes really good
Yeah.
in coffee.
Huh?
Yeah.
So bourbon goes really good. In
It
coffee.
does.
Kahlua.
Yeah, you want, you know, you can get a sip,
No,
something, bro.
I'm hitting coffee. I'm good.
Oh my
I'm good.
God,
He'll
dude.
be sleeping out in the grass here like the uncle.
No shit.
Yeah, that's my secret.
And then tonight, of course, we have a lot of booze on the table as well. Everything's sponsored tonight by my buddy Brandon. Well, not everything, but just fucking booze. I made most of the food tonight. But Brandon was one of the first guys we had.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Brendan. Yeah.
Who was the first?
Well, him and Jeff were the same day. They came on the
Yeah.
same day.
Who went first?
Well, you and I had like 2 or 3. There was just you and I,
Really?
and then I think maybe that was like the first like special guest that we had.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Jay.
I don't remember.
No, Jay came
in
It was
later.
maybe-
I think it was. I think it was Brandon. If I looked at social media pictures,
But
the
they
other day-
came the same day.
Yeah, I think we did us, and then he was here first, and then Jeff came in because Brandon was already here. We
Yeah.
had just made the steak, and then when Jeff showed up, that's when we went for the Beast Drive. I think he wanted to say
Oh, yeah.
Cybertruck. Sounds gay.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The Beast Drive.
Cyber Beast.
Cyber Beast.
Cyber,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I
guess that
guess
makes
so. Technically, Brandon. Let's call him our first guest, real guest, after us. You know, because
Yeah.
I mean we're the hosts, right? So Brandon, thanks, man, for bringing it over.
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
phenomenal,
You know,
phenomenal.
I mean, luckily
Hook up.
you got the hookup, Brandon. So since Brandon, you were already working for this company though, right? When you did this, because you were with the Pacific War Museum, and we talked a lot about that. But you had started working for them already, you think, or were you doing the marketing for the other company?
I think I had already started for ADI, for
Yeah.
the American Distilling Institute, when we started, because it gave me the freedom to come over here and do it during the middle of the day. So, but I had just started, so.
So I think it was Brandon who changed the whole fucking chemistry of this podcast.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I mean, I have to. I owe a lot to Brandon. I really do, and I'm not just. I'm not saying this to kiss ass or to to make him seem better than everybody else. Because he really isn't. And he's probably the same as everybody else here. But Brandon really, he's put me in a place. I'm here because of Brandon, right? And I don't mind saying it. We grew. Thank you, bro. I love you, my
Hey,
brother.
Love
Yeah,
you too.
I called Brandon one day, and I don't know if I told the story, on the podcast one time, but we'd helped start the bar. It was Lauren Cone on Main Street, and I was there, and it's like, shit, we need more people. And Brandon, I knew, loves liquor, and he loves making cocktails, and we used to hang out and drink. So, like, literally called Brandon one night. I think it was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Cause, bro, I need a bartender tomorrow. Can you come and help me or something? Like, what was it? I don't remember.
You called me in the morning of the day you needed me to bartend, and I had never gotten a TABC license.
Oh, so
So I was the director of marketing for the Abel Foundation, and you're like, hey, like, I just need help. Like, just come in and like, I just need help this weekend. Jumped online, got my TABC certificate, came and helped bartend. Had not professionally bartended in probably 5 or 6 years.
yeah,
And
college maybe, right?
I did that. That turned into every Friday and Saturday night for 5-6 years.
Yeah,
Loved every minute of it. And
dude, it was a blast. So we
Yeah,
were
from
doing
there.
that, and then I guess about COVID, was happening. It started right, and that's when my good friend from high school went and had some cocktails made by Jessica Middle. She has Kessel Schmidt.
Oh, yeah.
Her
Love
dad.
Jessica. She's
yeah,
great.
I grew up, with her and her parents, and loved her dad. Man, he's passed away. About a year ago, and sits down and asks Brandon if he knows anyone that could go and help her, like with a dinner, right? That they were gonna have somebody, and threw my name out there, and so she already knew me, so it was like, yeah. So she called me right there when she was sitting at the bar, and said, yeah, sure, first gig. And then from there, because I had been approached already about, hey, do you want to do the private chef work? No, I was just doing, one-offs here and there for events. So after that, Jessica calls me back and to say, hey, do you want to, can I book you or can I advertise for December? And it's like, sure, go ahead. And like, that was it. Like, she booked me out that week for the entire month of December. And I was like, oh shit. And so I literally overnight after the first gig, sat in front of my computer, designed the entire website that it is now in like 2 hours, and launched it. And then I was booked for the next 3 months, and then the next 3 months turned into the entire year.
What year was that?
2020.
Dang. Leo, I have to say, remember bartending at my property? a few
Heck
times?
yeah, bro. I did it. Jeff's like, hey man, you want to make $100? And it's like, yeah, man. And then of course, Jeff always had $100 plus, other little things.
Yeah, they tip you out a couple $100.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
He had a little box with cigars and other shit in there, and we would like, hit that.
Were they hemp?
Yeah, it was him. no, but I remember that he was like, I would show up because just wear a pair of black pants and a white shirt, and I would show up and he fucking put a monkey suit on me and that shit. God, man, I had never dressed like
bow tie,
and every, yeah, a bow tie.
bow tie,
Yeah.
and
That was the first time bartending.
Invest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
back in the
invest.
day, man. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that was a long time ago.
I think I have a picture somewhere.
Yeah, you still have it on your phone. I saw it not too long ago. It's like, what? That was maybe like 15 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But anyway, since then, it's like Brandon, you know, is like one of my best buddies, man. I mean, I consider everybody here at this table, man, like good friends. But he was the OG. He loved his family. His dad would come down, you know, a couple times a year, and he would do this reenactment. And I just fell in love with his father because he would just cook for me. He was the only other man that would sit there and cook for me, man.
Yeah.
Nobody cooks for me. And he would make me, what was that shit he made? The biscuits, gravy, and
SOS.
SOS. Yeah, that military. Have you ever had SOS, anybody?
Shit on a shingle.
Yeah.
Yes. Explain it, bro. Explain
Yeah,
that.
so he ran a World War II field kitchen for 18 years before he passed, sadly, and he did it for our reenactment unit. And then when I was with the museum, I'd have him come down at spring break. I had him come down 2 years in a row, and he set up for the entire week. And it was such a deal because it was like $1,500, right? He's like, yeah, just cover my cost to bring the trailer down. And
That's nothing.
he slept on property, and you know, entertained the hell out of people. And yeah, so what made his SOS great was he used the chipped beef, but he actually got it from Nos Foods, and they were one of the original suppliers of chipped beef, like starting all the way back in World War I for the military.
Wow.
And my dad like randomly called him up one day to see if they would like sponsor and give him some because it's expensive. And he ended up talking to the director of marketing. They're like, yeah, man, cool. Like, we'll overnight it. And so like it turned into like for 5 years, anytime we did an event, he'd call up this company, and they'd send him like 5-10 pounds of chipped beef to use to make the SOS out of the original World War II cookbook. And
That's
yeah,
crazy.
the saltiness of that stuff is so good. And he would make it the night before, so it had time to sit together and just marry.
Yeah, I remember everybody would go out there and
That's
just
the best
eat.
stuff ever.
I would tell people, and I have pictures, but it's like literally if you watch a World War II movie and you see people going in to get, I mean, it was everything. Like tonight we're having chili, and those are like World War II spoons that we're using
Yeah, they were
with,
cool.
with their chili. And it's like, you know, and his dad, you know, he would give me stuff, and, you know, and it's like, I treasure that stuff because you know, it's great memories, but coming from this fucker, it's pretty badass.
Are these from his dad?
I don't think so, right? Did you give me these?
Yeah,
Or your
those
dad?
are-
Yeah, those are his dad. So it has the U.S. Stamp there, and you
That's
know, have a
cool.
little clip so you can clamp
When
it.
my dad passed,
Yep.
eBay felt it.
Oh, really?
Like I feel like they looked at their like month financials like, whoa, why the dip? My dad bought so much stuff from eBay that like I always joke like, yeah, eBay felt my dad's passing because like he had so much stuff and just collected all the, you know, World War II stuff. He was passionate about it, and yeah, we had so much silverware, and I think Leo's got one of my dad's U.S. issued
Cleavers.
cleavers in there
Yeah.
in the studio. So.
Yeah, I've got one of those. What I love, and everybody asks me about it. I have a little cigarette dispenser that his dad gave me that he brought back from Thailand, and I guess he was in the military there. So it's like that's one of my prized possessions in there. It sits on top of my humidor there. But anyway, so now Brandon's going back to Brandon. You're doing what now for the company?
Yeah, so I do. I work for the American Distilling Institute. We are the oldest and largest professional organization for craft distillers. So we do webinars. We host a big conference. You know, we are really here to support the craft distilling and craft brand industry, and give them a voice and give them educational resources. And so I handle supplier relations. So, you know, still manufacturers, glass bottles, closures, anything that a distillery needs to operate. I handle all of our membership that focuses on our suppliers and I help connect them with distillers and help them get in front of our audience to do that. And one of the major perks is we have bottle shares, and I get a lot of bottles of amazing craft spirits from all these awesome distilleries all over the country. So it's a rough job. I've got to do it. You know?
Like, what are we drinking? Like,
I
name the
sacrifice-
shit we have on the table right now. We have 7 different bottles.
We've got
Where they're coming
Rebecca
from.
Creek, we've got Iron Root, Tumble Dice, / High West, MB Roland, which is my favorite. Their corn whiskey takes me back to my time during harvest at my family's grain mill. and Mountain Summit are the ones that I brought. So yeah, some rye whiskeys, some the High West that's blended with some Scotch is they call it the Campfire, which is really good. But yeah, that's my job now, is just promoting the craft spirits industry and helping them succeed. And I think we can dive into that a little bit later, because we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
about everything going on in the market, and we've got a winery here as well. So
yeah. So what? So some of that was people aren't drinking as much as they used to, or people are quitting drinking, or even the younger generations, the Gen Zs, they're not really consuming like us back in the day.
For vaping.
Vaping, no shit, man. That's just crap.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to they're just not social. I mean, that's that's the internet. We went on a rant last time I was here on social media, and it's its impact. But that younger generation is a healthier mindset, and you've got World Health Organization saying that drinking's not good, and just that focus on it, and it's the financial burden that everyone's feeling. But yeah, the younger generation's not drinking. I mean, craft spirits is feeling it. Craft beer, wineries, everyone's impacted. And as we talked about, I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that the younger generation's making is not drinking. And I'm not saying go out and drink like my generation did in college, because that was irresponsible. But I think. I can't remember the guy's last name, but I heard on Bill Maher's show that, go out and drink. Like the impact to your 25-year-old liver is worth the risk, because I can't think of a single friendship I have that's of value to me where alcohol was not involved. And you're sitting around like we are now, drinking and chatting and having fun. And I think that's one thing that this younger generation is hurting on. And you don't have to go out and get wasted, but drink a good spirit, sit down, pour something nice, enjoy it, drink like an adult,
or not.
But I think it's one of our biggest things. Like, we've become an antisocial society, and
it's true.
It's going to have a lasting impact. So get out there and drink, make a bad decision or two. It's going to pay. It's going to pay off.
I have like 10 babies or
anything else, it's for the stories later, right? Like, you got to have good stories to tell.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
No one starts a good story with, I was sitting behind my computer one day typing on a keyboard,
and then all of a sudden, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, I know. I got a message from and then it took off from there.
This girl walked into my cubicle. No,
it doesn't work like
it
that.
didn't happen anymore.
I mean, I think did y'all all drink like growing up, like teenagers? And
I started drinking in high school, man. I was probably like a sophomore or junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, socially, partying with like other people. Yeah.
I started so young. I started back in middle school.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it was because my friend's uncle, he was like, hey, you want to go drive the Jeep and go drink and drive the Jeep around the orchard? And we're like, yeah.
Please.
And you're out in the middle of nowhere, so.
Scripps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Adam.
Oh, Adam, bless his soul.
I know, man. Miss him. How about you, Henry, German?
I would say like our regulation for alcohol is kind of like different as here in the States. So you actually able by law to drink a little bit earlier as here. And I remember I was sitting on a table like for dinner with my parents, and I was like 13, 14, something like that. And I always got like a glass of beer, just like for, when we had dinner together. Not like that you get drunk, but just, had a feeling for and enjoy like the atmosphere, the togetherness.
Did you get a buzz at 13? You get a buzz? Like, did you feel like,
Yeah.
13?
First time, yeah, but after, some training session, you get more established, And so, yeah, I mean, like, 16 is the age you're legalized, can drink beer and wine. 18 is the age you can go into the liquor, the legal part. So it starts a little bit earlier as here.
Like at 18, you can buy it?
Yes, you can buy and you can drink. Yes. You have a full adults after you finish your 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that's a huge difference. And it feels like just what I noticed during the time after we moved, and I see how especially like the teenagers or like the young generation here is dealing with alcohol. So it feels like when they are passing like the 21st, so that's like the biggest bomb they have to drop, that they definitely have to go drunk.
Yeah.
And then it feels like they are not really prepared for that,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it goes crazy, you know. And in Europe, we have a little bit more time before to get to this point that it's not in this.
It's not a big deal.
No,
Come
it's not a
21,
big
you're like,
deal.
you've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Our
already.
system's designed for binge drinking.
Yeah, that's when y'all break into the cocaine shit. All the raves and shit over there.
What would
I
they?
would say it's more controlled. you
Yeah.
know, so it's under control. Not that I'm saying, we don't have like crazy people over there, but in general, you don't have to wait like and have this pressure point. Now I'm 21 and now I can drink.
Let's
as
go.
much as, let's go.
Yeah.
This kind of effect.
Do they drink
Right.
as much alcohol, like cocktails and stuff, or is it more beer and wine?
I would say mostly beer. It's really popular because we have so much variety of beer. I guess like we have over 1,500 different beer varieties there. And the distillery part is not this much as here, for example, in Texas. Cocktail is always, like this fancy cocktail things, especially for the females. But the men, mostly they're drinking beer, and you can see that at the fairs. There's not really cocktail bars in place. You have like beer stands.
Well, and you had the original Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
You know.
We drinking like the volume of beers.
Yes.
So like the glasses
seen that
is
fucking
like
mooch and
triple
shit.
size of
The 3
that
liter?
you can
The
find
3 liter,
here.
right.
I mean, the Stein here is just like for warm up. Before you go even to like the liter.
How do you hold that much fucking beer, man? And
Dude, I've seen like
I'm
90-pound girls like serving those like they have like
they hold
10
4 or
of them.
5 of them
Yeah,
in
they're
the
like
hand. Yeah.
how do you do that shit?
You don't want to mess up with them, trust me, because when they can lift up this 14, 15 of liter Steins, that's fucking huge.
yeah.
I know.
And I remember I was 3 times in Munich at Oktoberfest, and of course every state has its own Oktoberfest celebration as well. And they're
But
trying
Munich is the main one.
to imitate like what they're doing in Munich. But the most I was able to drink was like 4 Steins, but then I passed out. So it's a lot of volume.
How many liters is that? Like
It's
Stein?
4 liters.
4 liters?
Yeah. So one is 1 liter, and if you, compared like to the time you be there, so 3 to 4 hours, and each hour you have a liter of beer.
That's insane.
Mamma mia.
And you're not drinking Bud Light.
No.
No,
It's real
Stout.
beer.
You're drinking the
Actually,
heavy beer.
volume.
That's crazy, bro.
It is.
You should, go along with Brandon, man, when he does this shit and see if he can handle it. I mean, you're drinking right now. You're drinking bourbon. Now that you're in Texas, what do you drink more of?
I would say like more bourbon things. Yeah.
More
So
yeah.
like the beer part is literally
Kinda
it
burn
went
out.
away because
Yeah, it's not cold anymore. Now you're in Texas. You
No,
gotta do-
and it's not
Not
the
the
same.
same?
It's
Not the
not
same. Yeah.
It feels more like, okay, you have to drink the right stuff here, what is actually
What's happening?
made
Yeah.
in
What's
Texas.
trending and
Yeah.
stuff?
I don't think they talk enough about the American bourbons and whiskeys and tell the story about. I mean, that there was excess corn, wheat, and crops, and then they had to find a way to make that last for a long, long time. And so there's a whole story behind why, in Kentucky and southern Indiana and that part of the country, why they got into this business, because they had extras, they had a bounty, and so they had to do something with it. And so to make it last, they did this, which I think I think that's the true kind of American story, which I think is
Right.
cool. Yeah.
It's got a lot of heritage.
You're taking out, buddy?
Yeah.
Jeff's headed
So
out.
Jeff said, buddy, thanks for coming, bro.
See you, Jeff.
I love you, my brother.
Yeah. Catch you
All
later.
right. Who's going to get you? How are you going to get home? The boys?
My truck's here. They
Oh, okay.
took one too. Take care.
We got the real truck here? The Dodge?
They took the Dodge.
Oh, okay. They took the real
Right.
truck.
Real
All
talk.
right.
See ya.
Pleasure.
Later, brother. Love you, my brother. Be careful. There goes Jeff. So I mean, I don't know about the story about how it started, but I just know I like it. I know that it's rye. I mean, it started off as rye, right? First, before the corn.
I couldn't tell you which one started first.
You know,
I think that's one of those things that when it was cataloged is probably 20 years after it started.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they started drinking it, and then
we
they
have
kind of lost
something here.
track.
Yeah, hey, wait a minute, we have something here.
Right.
We lost track of a couple years, but oh well.
Yeah.
Well, and then the founding fathers were also, distillers themselves, weren't they?
yeah, some of them, I can't remember which one, but I think they all had a hand. Well, George Washington, there's a distillery on his property up there, and I've never been. I want to go one of these days, but
we'll all go as a family, guys.
there you go. get a sponsor.
It's a
Get a
great
sponsor
spot. It's a
trip.
great spot.
There you go. Hey.
If you want-
Fredericksburg Cast Iron can sponsor the trip up there.
Yeah, that's fine.
We got some shitload of it.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. I've been there. I've never been to any distillery there, but I've been to.
Yeah, I mean, well, in bourbon particularly, bourbon is the American spirit.
Yeah, totally.
And I think, for so long it was in Kentucky, and then it's the same thing. Like, Garrison Brothers here,
Right.
the first legal Texas distillery, and so when we bartended,
Yeah.
I don't know how many samples of Garrison Brothers we would pour.
Oh, I know.
Hey, you guys have any Texas bourbon? Well,
Yeah.
bourbon can't be made in Texas. I'm like,
Fuck
yeah,
you.
it can.
Yeah. Let me show you. What makes it? No, it's only Kentucky.
Let
No.
me show you why it's better.
I know.
It's kind of like having
They're
wine in
they're all
Texas,
amazing.
right?
They're all amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Buying it through
But-
Right.
But this is different.
But
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Garrison, and the godfather of
I love
Texas
Dan,
bourbon,
man.
and
He's very nice.
look at all the ones right now. Oh yeah, huge heart.
like
one
just
one of my best buds.
What I love is that they're actually making it.
Right,
Yeah.
There's
Totally.
a lot of guys who have cool labels, but they're not actually making it.
We were talking a little bit about that too. He was talking about how they bring in what did you call it?
Well, MGP's one of the
MGP.
companies, but yeah, it's just and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Because there's a lot that goes into if you want to do bourbon the right way. There's a lot of investment. There's a
Right.
lot of investment in time. It's
Time investment, yeah.
It's years.
right.
And when you don't have that and you want to start turning, there's nothing wrong. You go out to some of these big producers, you find some barrels, you blend together something you like, you put it in a bottle, you put a label on it, and it's delicious. And I think for so long there's been that stigma of like, oh, well, you're not distilling it, so it's not the same. And I think we're trying to combat that. Like, like these guys are. Yeah, they're not distilling it, but they're still artisans. They're still blending it. They're still sampling it. They're still putting together a great product to have. And I don't think it's cutting corners. Everybody's got a journey to go on. But yeah, Dan, his story's awesome. The way he started out, and he wanted to do it right. And just the stuff they come out with is just always amazing. I mean, anytime he does a bottle release, he's got a line of people a mile long, 3 hours before they open the gates.
Yeah, dude.
I went out there for the Guadalupe single barrel release to help because they were raising money for the flood relief. And it was just amazing how many bottles and people showed up to support. And they always, with good bourbon for a good cause, him and the team always put their money where their mouth is and donate so much more back to important Texas causes and support. I mean, Red, White, and Bourbon.
Amazing,
They do for the
man.
Nimitz Foundation. That was started in 2018. They're still doing it every year.
Who started that thing, Brandon? It was
Little feather in my cap with Dan.
Dude, it was so fucking badass. I remember the first year was the only year, the most badass year ever. We had fucking tanks out there. I was out there cooking. We were flipping burgers, man. And I had Dan Garrison on one side, and I had General Hagee on the other side. We're all flipping burgers. And to have that group of guys there, and then people driving fucking tanks and heavy artillery out there shooting,
Flyover.
Dude, flyovers, yeah, man, it was crazy. That was the last year. That was the last year they had that. They still do, they still have that event, but I mean, I think we stopped. They stopped the tanks because I think somebody accidentally fell off the tank. So, we're not going to talk about that shit.
No one fell off the tank.
No.
But it was like, can you imagine? Yeah. But it was so bad. I mean, who was it? And then somebody I worked with, I hit her knee on the the tank, just getting up there and bitching about that shit. But shit happens, bro.
It's still a great event. We still do the red, white, and blue wax bottles.
Oh,
and
yeah, I've got-
it's
Yeah,
so
they're cool.
awesome.
I got my window there. I got like 4 or 5 bottles there under my window right now. You
I
see
think
them,
I think that raises almost $100,000 every year for the Nimitz Foundation, and the Nimitz Foundation doesn't have to raise a finger for it.
I'm gonna go grab a bottle.
Dan and his team,
Yeah.
took that whole thing over and do a great event out there and raised a lot of money. So
I love the Nimitz. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. You cannot undersell what they put on for Pacific War. They going through that. I mean, I think before wine and anything like that, the Nimitz was here, in Fredericksburg. And I think it's a huge thing. I remember taking my dad through it and just sitting there for 2 hours, just watching, and then going through everything, and the respect of people that come up for that is absolutely amazing. I don't think people take advantage of the Nimitz Museum as they should.
100%.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the unique things we've got here in Fredericksburg. I don't think people,
No.
people who seek it out, obviously, but then there's people who come and don't go in,
Right.
and don't check it out, and it's.
I think they'll have these all autographed, I think.
well, and it's so
where's
big.
Where's the bourbon?
The best for last.
Yeah,
I know,
and he had it
man.
stuck in his vest.
It's like every year.
And I mean that was one of the battles when I came on there in 2011 and kind of revamped their marketing as a younger guy. And I mean one of the problems is that it's just the pure footprint of it. I mean, it was 56,000 square feet of exhibit space.
Right.
The full chronological story of World War II in the Pacific, and it goes back 100 years before World War II started to lay the groundwork of why it started. And so yeah, it's one of the reasons that I don't know if they're still doing it, but tickets were good for 48 hours because it's like, hey,
Too much to see.
see it,
Wow.
take a break, come back.
Right.
I mean, I'll send them an invoice later for it, but they're getting ready to reopen the Bush Gallery. They just
Right.
completely renovated that. They're opening it on the 6th or 7th.
Wow.
So I think I'm excited to see what they did with that. They've renovated the Nimitz Gallery there on Main Street. That happened while I was still there. But yeah, I mean, it's so unique in such a small town.
Yeah.
Like, why is there
Right.
why is there a
World
Pacific War
class.
museum
World,
here?
world class.
Yeah.
It is, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I first started. I came here, I was dating my wife, and so it was 4th of July, and all of a sudden have the tanks come down Main Street, and like everybody's in their get up and everything, and it was. I don't know if they still do that or not, but it is. They work on 4th of July now,
Yeah.
but I think that definitely what makes Fredericksburg special, in addition to everything else, part of it. That's really
good.
cool. A
That's
very
delicious.
Cool thing.
Pouring everybody here a little bit of the red, white, and bourbon.
What year is that from?
Oh, wow.
Do you know?
Thank you.
2017.
No, this was last year's.
The Lester's.
24. Yeah, I'm still. I don't know who signed it. I can't read your handwriting. What's it say? I don't know. I think it's both Nancy and Dan.
Oh, and me. Yeah, I signed the bottom of it.
Aww. How sweet.
That's cool, man. So, Jay, what about the cast iron world, man? What's going on?
Cast iron world's good. It's good. It's I think we're a couple years into it now, and starting to get the word out more and more. So we, more and more people that we see are aware of the brand and the products and the benefits. So it's really good. We do a lot of sort of Christmas markets, big shows during the really the fourth quarter, the holiday Christmas season. And first year we introduced our product to people. Now people come by and they're like, I see you on social, I follow you on Instagram.
Right.
I see you get your emails, all sorts of stuff. So it's really good that we're getting the word out, and then also compared to some of the people that had started a little bit before us in the premium sort of smooth cast iron space. So I think that's a great place to be with that group, and they're regional. Kind of in the southeast and up in the northeast, and then us here in Texas, and there's a player out in Portland, Oregon area and stuff. So it's So it's been good to get the word out and tell the story and explain to people why they need to spend a little bit more money on a good piece of cast iron, because it matters. And it's a lot of people they get a recipe, so they go buy a inexpensive Lodge or something, which we tell people at minimum buy something that's made in America, because it's actually another American sort of product. Raw cast iron.
It's like whiskey.
It's like whiskey, yeah.
It's got a lot of heritage.
There's a lot of cool products that come, from France and other things, but not as much, sort of raw, what I would call raw cast iron, where it's cast iron seasoned, and that's it. And there's a lot of enameled stuff that comes from France and other places in Europe, but so it's really an American product. So it's cool to have regional players that are in the space and doing it, and it was big for a while in the 50s and 60s, and then and that kind of was the kind of peak, and then people moved to sort of space age technology, and then whoops, 50 years later they realized the space age technology was killing them, or has killed them. They're like, oh, Teflon, is amazing, and then they called it Teflon, and then and then as things moved on, they changed the name and they call it all sorts of different stuff, and even now, they talk about it's a ceramic, but it's a coating. It's not actually ceramic. Right. And so if it's got a chemical coating on it, you need to stay away from it. And so, that's what we tell people is get that stuff out of your house and out of your kitchens, because it's, it's kind of, it is kind of space age. You put an egg in it on day one, and it, your egg's moving around, floating around, and what you find out is it's floating because the stuff that's on it is in between the pan and your food. And then what happens is, after a period of time, you do 30, 40 fried eggs in one of those, and they're stick. Everything sticks to it, because what happens is the stuff that your food's floating on is either washed off or you've eaten it, and those are forever chemicals, and they're in your system forever. So, we're trying to tell with the smooth, we try to tell people that it's actually as easy to adopt one of our pieces of cast iron as it is to get one of those sort of chemically coated so-called non-stick pans, and ours get better over time. So as you use it and season it, and using it is seasoning it. So you just use it every day, multiple times a day, and bake in it, whatever, and it gets better. So 50 years later, 100 years later, it's going to be better than the day you bought it. So there aren't that many things that may be a little expensive on the front end. There's a little bit of,
but you'll hand it down to your kids.
Right. So how many things for
kids,
$150, $200, $250 will you have, potentially, to give away, or your kids to inherit, when you die? So we got people outside all the time, like my kids are already, fighting over who's going to get it when I die. And I'm like, I can sell you as many as you need. You don't have to. You don't have to fight over it. Put it in your will. They all can have one right now. I'd be happy to sell it to them. We've been making them all day today, so happy to send them to you.
Well, you had kind of mentioned earlier, and you hinted at like the smooth surface. So like you guys have a smooth surface, but you talked about like the difference between the smooth surface and more the rough surface of what you see in so many cast iron, where like that's the hard part to take care of when you're dealing with that rough surface of keeping it clean, keeping it cured and everything like that.
Yeah, the smooth surface, not only do you get a non-stick, basically right out of the box, it's naturally non-stick, but it's super easy to clean. Since it's not a rough surface, so not everything's grabbing to it and sticking into it. You get a little bit of carbon buildup or a little salt and pepper grabs on there over time, but then you just hit that with some chainmail when you wash it, no big deal. And then with the smooth seasoning, and everybody's so intimidated by seasoning a piece of cast iron. There's so much bad information out there, or people's stories about what their grandfather or grandmother or whoever taught them. But you don't need to do all that. I mean, you just keep using it. You wash it, you dry it really good, put a little oil in it, and then just keep using it, and it'll get better and better and better and better as you do that. So it's just simple. It doesn't need cast iron doesn't need to be laborious and challenging and complicated. It's just simple, and keep it super simple. And we pre-season it so it's ready to go right when they buy it. And so
but what if you leave it outside and it rusts?
You can salvage it. That's the other thing, is it doesn't. You can't really kill it. You can damage it a little bit. We tell people don't soak it. So don't put it in the rain. Don't leave it outside. And I'm sure Leo's done that a couple times. And Leo uses them almost exclusively every day. And then we tell people not to put it in the dishwasher. So those are really the only two don'ts that I don't like to tell people what to do. If they've got a method and I laugh about all the stuff people tell you, say the hell you do on the internet, but I don't tell people. It's just
You don't tell them if they change color, buy another one.
yeah. Well, yeah, and it changes colors. We get that. They look incredible. After we season them and we box them, they come out of the box looking. They're really sweet looking coming out of the box. Kind of have a really like a caramely, sometimes a little darker, sometimes a little lighter, but a caramely. They actually look kind of like the bourbon that we're looking at, and they got that color a little bit, and then immediately upon using it, it changes, and sometimes you pull the seasoning up, and then you just got to keep going, and some people get super nervous about that. They think they ruined it.
I get messages, man. I get messages on it's like, hey, I bought this Fredericksburg cast iron that you use all the time. I saw you cooking with it. Yeah. How do I get it back to that same color?
Well, people ask that. The women especially, they want it to.
Pretty.
They want it to. They're like, is it going to look like this forever? And it doesn't. It looks like that for about 2 minutes. Right. After you start using it, and especially when people, I always tell them, like, start out with something, a little tame. Put some pancakes in there. Do some grilled onions, and then they immediately throw a pork chop in there. It's like a piece of cast iron. They got to cook, a steak or bacon or something, but. But it doesn't matter. With the smooth surface, you can use soap to wash it. People freak out about that.
I was gonna say that, dude. Like I use a little bit of soap sometimes.
Soap's fine. Yeah. So the story with soap is that when you've got a rough surface, you're trying to build up. Your seasoning layers are really meant to build up, so you can fill in those voids and make a smooth surface. And with the smooth, when the base layer's been machined and polished mechanically, it's already smooth. You're not building anything up. You're just putting oil in it to protect your cast iron so it doesn't rust.
Right.
And so if you use a little soap, it's not
really matter.
It doesn't hurt at all. So that makes it good for restaurants. They can use it in restaurants where you need to worry about that. Where traditional cast iron. I always ask. I think when we talked the first time, I put a question back to you guys: is why don't more restaurants use real cast iron? There's a lot of carbon steel. There's a lot of lighter weight stuff. I get that piece of it, but I think there's maybe because you can't, people thought they couldn't wash it, and you got to wash stuff in a restaurant. You just have standards that you have to meet and everything else.
It's actually a teaching part, because people don't know, and when you gave me like 2 of them, so I started working with, and then I realized the difference between like usual cast irons, like the other ones. And I said, okay, it's pretty much easy to clean and it's an easy handling, and you can do literally everything. You can do like gratin in there, or I did this apple pie upside down.
Oh yeah, fucking good, bro. Yeah,
at the beginning.
That sounds good.
So I did it again with peaches for some of my gigs for a client, and they totally freaked out. It's like, how you did this? And he said, just like with this cast irons here, It's like they're from Fredericksburg, so they didn't know. I had no idea that this even is possible.
Right. Yeah.
So, but this is something you have to educate people.
Yeah.
It's the same like with
and everything, man. You educate people and everything.
And that's the only thing. It's the advertising, like not only like for what it's good. So actually, you need people they're teaching, like they're showcasing, like that's the way how it works, and then people would change their mindset for sure.
Yeah. We do a lot of education, so we talk to people. We love that people talk to people directly. And
just
show them. It takes time, but to show them how to do it, and that's something I got to do. In the new year is more sort of education content. I do a lot showing the product and that kind of stuff. But I just need to. Some of the videos, they don't have to be awesome. Social media, it doesn't have to be perfect. Leo does. Videos all the time when he's got his glasses on or he's just one-handing it doing stuff. And but so just got to do that because people love that content. They the stuff I always laugh on social. You think that you got some beautiful curated picture and you get real happy about it because it's like it looks great. It's incredible looking, and you post that stuff thinking, man, everybody's going to love this.
They don't get the same response.
And then you post something else that you just do, with your iPhone, and people love the iPhone stuff, and
I think if people realize that if you can do it, I can do it. It doesn't look perfect.
Yeah.
Not like the Food Network people, right? So all these,
More approachable. You know,
Yeah.
you just come off as more approachable. For the most part,
and
relatable.
you know, it's not
Yeah.
as intimidating. I think is one thing too. Is when you have products, or at least what you see is, I think I can do that. You know, does it taste different or not? You know, things like that with cast iron. But I think it's awesome. So how did you get started? I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Listen to the
Yeah, I know.
podcast.
I know.
That was
Listen
gonna
to
be
the
my question
podcast.
too. Is
Where did the passion come from for of everything in the universe? Cast iron.
Yeah, I think that the passion initially came from U.S. manufacturing. So we've got in our family, we've got a CNC machine shop that's here in Fredericksburg that's been here for 35 plus years, and we make stuff for oil and gas and aerospace and other stuff. And during the pandemic, everything slowed down, and everybody kind of hunkered down and hid for a while and did what they had to do. And I had been thinking about. At that point, I'd been running the machine shop for about 5 years, and so I'd been thinking about what else could we do that was, in addition, that was our own product line and our own requirements, and use the skills and the knowledge and experience that we had. And so there was just kind of a perfect storm. We were cooking a ton at home.
Yeah.
So was everybody else.
Yeah. And so I told my wife one day. I said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna take a swing at trying to do cast iron skillets." And
You're stupid.
I looked at the market. Well, everybody thought it was totally ridiculous, and I'd seen the market, and I looked in and did a little market research on the higher quality machine stuff, and once I saw the pricing and thought through and started doing some modeling a little bit and looking at what's going to cost me to get the castings made. So we get our castings are poured to our specifications, to our pattern. In Corsicana, Texas. So it's all 100% made in Texas.
That's awesome.
And so that was part of the thing is
Right.
U.S. manufacturing, but also keep it in Texas. I think that's super important for us in our story, and we're really proud of that. And and my wife was kind of like, she did the whole lodge thing where she's like, I had recipes and I bought a lodge, that was inexpensive, and it was a disaster for her, and she couldn't get it clean. Everything, paper towel when she goes to dry it, she puts it in the cabinet, and takes it out a month later and it's all rusted because you didn't get the moisture out appropriately. And so she was like, that's I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. And then I explained to her, and then it hit. The light went off, and said, "Wait a minute. With the smooth, you can do everything in this, and we can replace everything." And we were a little than that. Even at that time, it was a little bit ahead. People weren't yet talking about the health concerns with the chemically coated, non-stick stuff.
Right.
But they are now more so, and still people aren't quite aware, and they're still struggling to throw stuff away. You have pots and pans; they're not cheap. Even if you. Different brands that were out there, or they got them for their wedding, they got a whole set or whatever. And so they're really hesitant to trash them. But, with the, what we have now, you have one of our skillets, and we've got a Kamal family of griddles that we have, and we've got the Dutch oven now that we launched this year. That was our big project this year. And, with those 3 items, you can almost get rid of everything else. I want to do a saucepan, cast iron saucepan. I want to do some smaller sizes that we're going to look at doing in the new year that I'm going to do because I want an omelet pan. So a lot of it too is kind of what do we want, and design and everything else. But I want the skillet's tough to do. They're not great for omelets. And so I want to do a cast iron. I call it a cast iron version of a carbon steel pan. They have the longer handles and. But I'm gonna, a lot of those carbon steel. They talk about you get all the benefits of cast iron, but you have this. And I'm like, well, why don't we just do it on cast iron? So we're gonna. And that's part of what our ability to do is we can machine, in general whatever we want. So. That's probably gonna find somebody to make. I can't make a handle, so I got to find somebody to make a really really cool handle, and then we'll do the body of it and rivet it on. And I want to make them light so that in the professional world people can say, hey, I can maybe use that because
this would help because just like from my experience, not only here in the States, like in general in Europe as well, just where you spend a year. If you're a restaurant owner, to replace pans it's thousands of dollars or euros.
Yeah.
Because it holds just like in a professional kitchen, like give them like 4 or 5 months and they're done.
Right.
And then you have to replace them. And I think like if you can find a solution that you put the weight a little bit lower, so then you can use these cast irons like for every restaurant, because it's also will save labor. Just the time what a dishwasher have to spend during the service, like a 5-hour service, cleaning pots and pans, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's
your in the restaurant? What's your favorite? Like what is your go-to size that you're using for? You're creating per dish, or what size do you like?
I would say like it's like an 8-inch pan. What are you using the most?
Yeah, so it's smaller than like our regular 10-inch skillet. It's smaller than that. Yeah.
It's like a 6 or an 8.
Yeah, 6 to an 8. That's the usual size you use, like especially if you have like if you're cooking everything fresh per order, and then you get like 2 orders, 3 orders. That's something the size you're mostly using. But then you use it. You don't have the time to clean it because you have some stuff in there, and then you have to use a new one. So the other one is going just like in the bus stop, and literally in an hour or less than an hour, you have like a filled up bus box, which goes direct to the dishwasher, and is constantly one person over 4 hours
Doing that.
It's just doing that.
Yeah.
So, and if you can imagine, you don't have to wash it in the dish pit, so just like wipe it out and use it again, and just leave it on the stove. So this would save so much time, and the efficiency would be way higher, way faster, quicker. And
so why do you have to wash? Why do you have to fully wash it with what you're
Shit
using
sticks
today?
on it.
So because it sticks on it.
Yeah.
that's a problem.
So if you can get in there on the smooth, and you can just use your rag or whatever, a clean rag, and wipe it out.
What I noticed when I started working with your pans, then especially when you're just by yourself, that's where we are.
Yeah.
And you don't have the time like to clean constantly pots and pans, during like the courses. And just wipe it out and use it again, and doing like first of all the steaks or whatever, the seafood, and wipe it out, and then do like the size, and then the next one. So it's so much easier. And it's cleaned really quick.
So I use my big one for everything. It's like I can do 3 ribeyes on that thing. So you have a couple of them. You can knock everything out, and it literally takes me a 3-hour gig now. It takes me 35 minutes to like cook everything I need to cook if I'm doing steaks and get it out, So now it's my time that it takes to put out a let's say a 12-person meal. It takes me longer to set up and break down than what it takes me to cook the entire thing, So most of the time we're just shooting the bull, talking to the clients, having a good time, pouring a drink, and that's part of the
that's
gig,
value,
right?
That's value.
Yeah. So, but it's the product that allows us to have that freedom, the time, and thank you, man. Because honestly,
it's awesome to hear the stories.
You made it easier,
and it's also like a showcase.
Oh, totally.
Thing, because every time when I'm start cooking, and then the clients like just passing by and look what you're doing, because some of them they want to see what you're doing, and want to just like a little bit.
Oh yeah, and it goes a long way. Word of mouth, but really any product you put out there, especially food, people won't buy the product unless they try it. A lot of times, because you go into buying, anything at HEB or any store you go to, it's like I don't know, I don't know what it's going to taste like. I may not like it, or product usage, So, how many skillets do you think you've given me in a year?
I don't know. You've probably, you have at least 20.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
So my high-end clients, when I cook for like high-end clients, they spend $4,000 or $5,000 in a meal. Right. I'm like, they fall in love with the pan, and we talk about it. I'll give one away You know, and it's like one of those things because I know they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their friends. Same things with my knives. You know, I've had probably 12, 15 custom made knives.
Yeah.
I only keep like 5 or 6 in my bag now, and it's like if he gives me one, I'll use it for about a year, and then if somebody falls in love with it, that I'm cooking for, I'll let them have it, and the following year they've ordered 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. And I do that because, the way I fall in love with something and and I use it every day, I know that the person is going to appreciate that, and they're going to order one for their spouse, they're going to order one for their kids and shit. Yeah. And I do that. So my 20, I literally have 3 in my trailer, 1 in my house, and and everything else is in my studio. But I don't have all those pans. I have my presses. I have. That I could use another one of those Dutch ovens, brother. But it's cool. But it's like tonight we're making chili in that Dutch oven. But I had pulled pork, and I go, shit, I'm not gonna put that in the pan. I'm just gonna leave it in this other thing.
Well, the Dutch ovens. I mean, the other just short on that is the a lot of people have enameled Dutch ovens, so they've bought Le Creuset or Staub, which are very expensive, and they're cool, and and they've got colors and all sorts of stuff, and they're enameled, which is basically a glass coating that hardens on it, and it provides a non-stick. And they have always talked, well, you don't have to season it because it's got an enamel coating on it. But the challenge, but it doesn't last forever.
No, totally.
And they chip, and they chip relatively quick. I mean, for that price, they chip 5-10 years depending on what you're doing. And I love to smack my spatula on the side of it, to knock stuff off it or whatever. And that that immediately you start doing that a couple times in a row, and you chip it, and then they rust because it's cast iron underneath there, but you don't have to season it, so you don't know how to. There's no really way to season a rust spot, and so they age, so it's 5 to 10 years really, and depending on how you treat it, and then they go, and so at that price. Whereas the machined smooth cast iron literally will last forever, and so those you'll be handing them down to your kids and grandkids, but so they do last forever. So that's the cool thing about it is telling people, and ours are more competitively priced even than the same size Le Creuset or Staubs.
Yeah, yet he doesn't have a Dutch oven yet.
Well, they've got it, and they have a new pan, and it's like they call it a ranch pan or something, and it's a deeper. I don't know. They did like a middle ground a little bit, and
those are made for people that drive Subarus.
It's cool. And
they did your firstborn.
Yeah, and they did a real weird lid on that. It's like a stainless steel lid that's machined, and it looks weird to me. I don't know. Like some of their stuff's pretty cool and highly designed and thought out, and
I like their ice chest, but I can't get behind all the other shit.
Yeah, some of it's they kind of jump the shark a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing an amazing job, man, and it's
thanks. No, I appreciate
it's
the
one
feedback.
of those things. Yeah, it's you've made our lives a lot easier.
Yep. I will say that the best steaks I've ever had, and I'll tell anybody, is Leo over that fire back there in your cast iron, and it's the best steak. And I think it's both to him and to your product is awesome, because I remember the first time I had it, he had your cast iron right down there on the coals, cooking thick ribeyes.
Yeah, we've got a sweet video on our website that was professionally done by a guy up in the Northeast who came down and visited and did a whole shoot. And we had a really cool outdoor dining that Leo did with his mother-in-law and cooked for all of us. And it's number of fire pits going. And,
a lot of them, man.
We had skillets everywhere and awesome photography, and then a video that goes along with it, which is kind of, if you want to see Leo doing his thing, check out that video on our website.
It's crazy because, you have an open pit. You could throw that steak right on a pit, and it just changes dramatically the texture. The texture from having it on a cast iron and having it on an open flame, night and day, and people are, what's the difference? And you're sealing all those juices, and you have this buttery, texture.
You drop butter in
and,
there.
Drop half a cup of butter and some garlic, it's like a little bit of time.
It's all staying in there.
But you're sealing that shit, and it's just like, the texture. It's a texture thing, right?
I don't know what happened. I think people, for a long time, because the pans that they had they had the chemically coated, non-stick stuff you couldn't put in the heat like that. You couldn't put in the fire, for through the 60s, 70s, 80s,
totally.
whatever,
Yeah.
and
Might blow
90s.
It melts.
And
yeah.
and so I think, or they had plastic handles and crap that you couldn't put in that high heat. And so I think that people then went to cooking steaks,
Straight up
on the grill, on the
Yeah.
grate. And, what you're doing there is all of the goodness that you guys are talking about, and then adding butter to it or whatever, all that goodness is just falling onto your fire and you're losing it. Whereas if you do it in a skillet, you retain all that. You can funnel it back on top. And
if you're doing over an open flame, you have the best of both worlds, right? You have the smoke.
Right.
You
Just
know,
getting in
that
there,
you get the cold. You get,
Right.
if you ever notice, you get those ashes. They just come up
Right.
from
Yeah.
that smoke. So that trickles down on the
Yeah.
steak. And it's little shit like that people don't think about that adds to the entire, the entire. I don't know, what do you want to call it? The
experience.
The experience
Yeah.
of eating a fucking a good steak.
Yeah.
So it's like ashes matter, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
for sure.
So you sear it up, because if you just cook it on an open flame, it's almost like a more material. Well, not just charred, but it's the texture is more. Oh my God! What's the word I want to use? It's when you pull it, there's more fibers. Like it's more fibrous. It's like
It doesn't break down as much.
Right.
Yeah.
So it pulls apart, kind of like jerky would, but in
Yeah.
a more tender,
Yeah.
state. But yeah, it melts like butter in your mouth, man, when you do it that way on a cast iron.
So here's an interesting question about this year specifically. Have the tariffs affected, because everything you do is here in Texas, everything is American made. Have the tariffs affected anything with your business as far as does your the steel that's coming, does it come across from the ocean? Do you have or that could be a really good thing, because now you're a company that's all American made and you're not having to deal with any of that bullshit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, we're 100% pro tariff for our business, just because it's all 100% here. So the raw material, a lot of the raw material that goes into the castings is recycled from out in Weatherford and around Fort Worth and, in Dallas.
It's all
and then they
from
bring that to
Texas.
Corsicana and they melt it and pour it into our pattern. And so it's So we, the tariffs. I don't feel like the tariffs have had as big of a negative impact. I mean, everything's expensive.
Everything's expensive. Yeah.
But I think that I was hoping that it would have a bigger impact on people wanting to do more manufacturing in the U.S. I think it seems like they looked at it. They looked at their cost and risk profile, and they just continued to do what they were doing. And added to the cost, So I think that kind of stinks. I'd like to see more. I just think that we need to do more strategic stuff, here in the U.S.
Oh,
and you may
sure.
say, maybe a cast iron skillet may not be the most military thing or whatever, but or pharmaceutical or healthcare related or whatever. But
well, I can't imagine that lodges. I think maybe some of that. I can't imagine that that's all 100% American made.
Well, a lot of it, they took some products over the years, like their plastic stuff, and they had an enamel family that they had. I think it was probably coming from Asia someplace, and then they actually made a big project to bring some of that back to Tennessee, and they've got a really cool video about the story of that, which is cool, and celebrating that, which I think is great. And yeah, but like Yeti, you talk about that, or they're making their stuff. They're getting it cast in Wisconsin or Minnesota. I think in Wisconsin. So I think that everything else they do is made in Asia.
Yeah, exactly.
Or as far as I know, almost everything is made overseas, and then they say they can't do it. Here, there's a company out of Fort Worth that makes stainless steel cups like the Yeti. I'm holding one now, so for people who aren't watching, nobody is. But Bison coolers, they make coolers that are the same, and they make those, and they're really proud that they make them in the U.S. But they have stainless steel tumblers, mugs, and they just have a statement that it's impossible to make them in the U.S., which I have a hard time believing that's impossible.
They just want to spend the money.
Nobody's invested to do it, and and you could argue some things like, do we really need to? Does everything have to be made in the U.S.? Maybe not, but strategically, if we lose our manufacturing base, any country, you lose their manufacturing base.
You lose your society over time.
It's bad. I mean, we've had a lot of our small towns that have been gutted all over the country. They had a manufacturing facility, or they had some kind of thing where people actually made stuff in those small towns, and that was the backbone of them. And they pull those out and move it to Asia, and those cities and towns are gutted. Looking back to our local economy, you bring that on. A lot of people want to complain about tourism, or they want to complain about wine, the wine business. They want to complain about this, that, the other thing. But what? I'd rather live in a town that has it going on, and people want to come here, people want to move here, and there are jobs, than someplace that's dead and dying.
Yeah.
So I think that we have to take it with a grain of salt. That you may not love everything about the tourism and about that locally here in Fredericksburg, or all the people moving here, whatever. But I think that we're seriously lucky to be here, and so I think that it's a huge win, and it's a super unique community that I think we're just the different. I mean, just to have Dan Garrison here doing what he's doing, and then you have the Nimitz Museum, and you have all the wineries and the super talented people that are here, and then the food that comes along with it, and the opportunity I think is incredible. We just have to work on managing it a little bit, I think, but at the same time bringing people, because everybody's down 10% or more, except for Jeff. Jeff's got skills, I guess. But everybody else, is struggling, and it's just down. I don't think it's not dying, but it's just been a bad year, and it's tough. But and I think people made some bad bets too. I think you come through COVID, and we had 2 weeks here, maybe 3, where everything shut down, and then all of a sudden it was like, we're open. We're in Texas, and we're here, and you can drive here. And from that point on, I looked at Leo's story earlier, and from that point on, people could come stay in short-term rentals, and they could social distance, or whatever. Man. And they came here like crazy. And I think a lot of people, and they also moved here. Our building boom, Boot Ranch went from kind of being a little sleepy to now. It's been insane, the building out there since then. And then all the other ranches, ranchettes, developments, etc. And now we're getting super high end hotels, and it's
not to mention the $1 trillion however many trillions of dollars of printed money that went through the system after COVID, right?
Yeah, that was a mess.
So maybe some of what the community's feeling now is just all that's gone. Or it's not gone, it went somewhere, but it's not floating where it was before.
Well, I think that if you look at a straight line from 1920 to now, it's probably a little normal if you looked at a straight line. Right. We went from, 1920, and we had a huge spike because it was abnormal, and then you had inflation and everything else, which screwed everything up. Right. And then now it's kind of come back to life, or to come back to normal somewhat. And I still don't think it's normal. I think we're still living in a weird, bizarre world, that was impacted by that. But so I think it's, and I think that I just think that you see, Main Street shopping, the shopping patterns have changed too. And that's really, really hard for a lot of the retailers. You hear them talk, a lot about it. And I know Leo, you talk to a lot of them, and but the shopping behavior has changed, and I think there's a challenge too where people are going out into the county, to hit wineries all day, and they come back into town. They're not really looking to spend more money, buying a new shirt or shoes or pants, whatever, And so I think that's a big challenge too, and I think a lot of the Main Street retailers are feeling that and talking about that now.
Or even the young kids, like Brandon was saying earlier, like. They're not spending, they're not drinking, they're not doing all this other shit, but they're not spending, they're really not even going out the house like we used to when we were younger. Right. Even a young, father, family, with 20 to 28-year-olds going out and taking their families out and spending money at events or, places. Kids, I wouldn't call them kids, because now the kids at that age and now don't even have kids or spouses like we did when we were that age, so it's like I feel like it's slowed down also because they're not, I don't want to say evolving like we did, like we were more mature and we were out there doing more shit. I don't see them doing that. I see them like just staying to themselves and doing whatever they were doing at 18 still at 27.
Yeah.
You know, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, have you seen the way these video games look now too?
Oh yeah.
I was watching my this kid play a PlayStation 5. I had never seen like anybody play one, and I'm watching this kid play Battlefield on this PlayStation 5, huge screen, and I'm like, dude, if video games looked like this when I was a kid, it would be hard to get anything done too. I mean, good lord.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like you're like there, you know, and I mean, it's like all interactive. They're playing with people from all over the world and their friends.
Yeah.
So they don't have to leave the house. For
They
that.
don't have to leave the house
or spend money
major
except for
problem,
the
because the socialism, the socializing part has totally changed. Yeah, I mean, when I remember when I was a kid, you know, I was hanging out with my buddies always outside.
drinking liters of beer.
We didn't have a watch, you know, so just like when it turned dark, you know, so it was time to go home.
Yeah,
So that was our time frame, you know, and now it's the opposite. So you have to give your kids breaks that they actually have to go out, otherwise they wouldn't even notice between like day and nighttime.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So because they're so into in this gaming thing and in this in this internet community which is connected now worldwide, and you can see or you can talk via headsets with everybody in different countries and different languages, you know, and they're all focusing on the same thing. So they're connecting them and pulling to focusing on one point, and they totally forget the real life, what is surrounding them.
Yeah,
right.
You know? And that's the highest risk, I guess. You know, and this impacts our industry and our total.
Yeah, everybody, visitors. They're not going to pull them out of their house and go, "Hey, we're going to go to Fredericksburg or whatever." Yeah. Like, we're going to.
Kids don't want to do that anymore. So the biggest common denominator is being social.
Yeah.
The human interaction part. So if you don't have that, you don't have to. You know, with your phone now, you can FaceTime somebody. You can do that or whatever. So that's the biggest thing, I think, when growing up. It's like, okay, you have to stay outside. Go make friends.
Go make
friends. I don't like any, but we'll go make friends. Well, people don't know how to do that anymore.
No.
They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to get, that, or they're just on, text messaging and stuff. I mean, it's a tool, but it's not your life. How to create those social experiences, which goes into everything that we're talking about.
And they feel that that's enough. They feel, I chatted with this person. That's enough. Or I talked. I mean, I already made my effort, right?
Yeah.
So there's no physical interaction anymore. And that's sad, So I mean, for us, like Henry and I, man, it's cool to go out and cook for somebody new every weekend. And it's great cooking for locals and recurring customers. But to know that these people are still coming to Fredericksburg and want to have that interaction, that's really cool. Especially, it's really exciting when we get like younger crowds. It's exciting for me when I get a younger crowd, even if it's these fucking bachelorettes.
Right.
It's like it's still cool because they're still coming out making the effort, right? So yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I'm not gonna say it's our fault. It's technology's fault maybe for advancing so fast and for us not being able to as humans to keep up with the shit that we were doing in the past and keep that alive even with our kids. It sucks, but at the same time it's like it's where we're at now and we just have to figure how to move forward. But this guy, like, brother, you're at a winery, like,
let's talk wine.
It's like, dude, it's like the last time we talked to you, it's like at the winery, you went from Becker's to where you're at Aerosol right now. At the winery. Aerosol. And it's been like, has it been better? Have you noticed it get better in the past 6 months or worse?
So for us, 6 months in the Aerosol, a huge change for us is going to be going into from a small independent winery, and we are now part of integrated with Llanos Staccato, which is one of the largest wineries in Texas. Again, next year's 50 years. So that gives us a lot of clout, per se, with what we have in wine and everything. But it's still, again, within the last 5 years, talking about, Fredericksburg and the growth. And we have now exceeded over 30 wineries in the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so you have that competition, but it's also the style at which you have and what wine you offer. But it's, again, the human interaction within your your service, customer service. How do you approach them? How do you talk to them? Building memories and relationships. And so for us, it allows us to kind of, wine club members we've kind of talked about before was the base of everybody's business. Really, they come in, they pay automatic four times a year, so 4 quarters are going to get wine. You have to be there, but it's the human interaction and making memories. And I always say to everybody, wine is also, it's a tool for fellowship, for friends, in order to come together and share those experiences. So it's more than just, it's taking the time to sit down, to be slow, and to drink the wine that we have. And so for us, it's all Texas wine that we have. And from the high plains of Texas, where 85% of the grapes are grown. So manufactured in Texas, produced in Texas. We've come a long way as a Texas industry, especially in Fredericksburg. Now become one of the most revered, depending upon who you talk to, but we'll put wine up as a Texas industry against anybody in the world. Yeah. And that's come a long way. But as Elle and Yana, we're surrounded by a lot of really good wine, competitive wineries. The experience is different as far as sitting. Everybody has wine, right? But it's also how you talk to them, getting to know them. Sit down and really showcase and explain the wine. Explain how education is a huge part of understanding light body, medium body reds, things like that, to where it's not as daunting. So they can go out and buy wine at a restaurant or buy wine and having those. And it's the younger people that are wanting to get out because their parents came. And so by word of mouth, I would say, the wine industry is the most subjective industry, I think, personally, in the world, because everybody has their own taste. But also, you bring a bottle of wine to we just had Thanksgiving, or Christmas coming up, or sharing anything, or you cook with wine to break down the meat for ossobuco and all those other different things, right? As far as that comes together. But it's or whiskey. We're talking about whiskey too, where you have that to sit down. It's not just to get drunk, but it's also to have a time to discuss over and to share your thoughts and feelings. And those tools to use that is also through wine, and then food pairing, of course, and all those experiences. So, which is part of that avenue to go into. That I think I always kind of approach wine to more than just, here's a bottle of wine. What are you going to use it for? What are you going to pair for? Yeah. So you buying a bottle. Who is it? What do they like? So it's more than just buying something for somebody just to give them a bottle of wine, but it's typically you open a bottle for not just yourself. It's for somebody else around you. And so it's a way, an avenue. And at Elle and now the new thing for us, the last time we talked, we are in the midst of building a 6,500 square foot facility with outside space, inside space, with a chef kitchen, all those opportunities that we have to bring down Texas wine from Llano, which is also in the High Plains. Most people know that for Texas Tech, things like that. So, but it's very exciting. I'm very excited to see what we're doing. Locally in town, we bought the property across from HEB, and so they're actually in front of HEB. They're going to put a 41-room hotel with a 3-story tasting tasting room.
Who's doing this?
Llano Estacado.
Oh shit!
Llano's doing that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we'll have restaurants, and then also some shopping spaces as well.
Oh, damn, man. You're pimping the place out.
Yeah, so part of
It's
our
the first
ownership-
person to use the walking bridge across the creek.
Right. Exactly right. That I guess we all paid for taxes.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody walk that.
We stopped and the kids walked across it one time.
I'm like, I don't know where this came from.
We'll drive my Harley through there one day.
Right, it'd be great.
We should do that. We'll get our Harleys going in and take video.
That'd be great.
So it's been better.
It's been better, yeah. So it's been better. We're excited. It has been quote unquote slow, as the industry goes, because we're in the service industry. You're also in that expendable income, right? If you don't have it, people come. That's one of those things. Kind of what is all the main theme as far as service, right? You have your hospitality, how you take care of people, and also I feel is building the value in your product. So whatever price point it is, to show them to understand that this is not just your wine paying $100 or $50 or $25. It's good, but it's also that experience that you believe in that and say, oh, I like this. I want to give this to you so you can have that experience, especially with the cast iron that you do, Leo, with your customers and what is produced and seeing the value in that, So that's really exciting and important for us, And what I do is to create those experiences with tour drivers, with people come in and networking and things like that to share that. So
I saw you. I mean, you've been slinging some hot dogs too out there, bro. You do everything out there.
That's true for everything. So
you get on the grill.
So
Brandon's a hot dog enthusiast over there, man. That guy is lives for hot dogs.
Love me a good wiener.
There you go.
That's right. We're having a wiener fest tonight. That's what he said. He was excited to come over.
It's almost 9 o'clock. After hours, baby.
That's right. All these guys
after hour wiener.
Love me, because I've not been out to your winery. I've not been to any wineries here in the region. But like family wise, what's your guys' clientele like? Do you see families coming out? Do you see kids? Because it's weird, right? Because like wineries, I've never seen a lot of kids at wineries.
Okay.
I used to take my girls out,
right?
But like breweries had them all the time, still have them,
right?
Distilleries have them, and so I'm just wondering, like, that clientele, like, do you guys see people bringing their kids out and enjoying a glass of wine? And
it's a great question.
Is it set up for that?
The kids drink? No,
it's very valid sometimes. So it depends on each individual winery and the culture you're trying to create within your own winery and your own mindset within that. Some people will not allow you in if you're under 21. I get that. Also, if you're wearing the same shirts, you're not going to come in.
If you're wearing the Saints shirt?
Yeah, so if you're all wearing pink shirts.
Oh, the Saints. I thought you said like the Saints.
No. Yes, right. If you're wearing any NFL teams, that's not the Texans. You get kicked out. Especially the Cowboys. But so for us, for example, at ASL, we allow kids and also pets. So, but it's also
shirts.
And no same shirts. But also we see people that come out with their kids. We have a lot of space. They go out and run the family events. They'll bring them, especially over Thanksgiving break. And some places don't want them there. Right. So it's about the mentality at which your winery wants to do. And so, do you want to be family friendly? So to come out, have a bottle of wine, and then also have your kids come and go, and play. There's both sides. Every story. You shouldn't bring somebody to the winery that's under 21. What kind of thing you're trying to, precedent you're trying to, but also, wine is a culture in countries. So you start drinking, like in Germany, you're so young, so it's not something, or Italy or France or anything like that, and it's not to say we're comparison, but it's an opportunity for families to come out, and it's funny. We'll see a lot of, I just had my baby, I need to get out, the house. And so we'll have little, babies come out, but it is, and we're okay with, we want kids to come out with families. There's like kids that don't have to stay, and so the whole mystique of, they run around crazy and stuff like that. But I've also seen a lot of drunken people. So there you go. So
they're acting like kids.
Acting like kids are worse.
That's right. It's kind of worse. Yeah. Right. So to that, it's a great question. And again, it's each individual people where they decide. And we allow them to do that, for like I'll cook hot dogs and wieners, on 4th of July. I started that actually at Becker for 4th of July parade. And so we cooked there and then had people come out, which was fun. It's carried it over it everywhere I go, just because something that I like to do, but also brings out the kids and the family. And then they go and shoot off fireworks, which is part of, Americana, if you will. The hot dogs and stuff, but it's all about creating the experience at which family build memories. And if you do that, you have them in their memories, and they want to come back and do it again. That's the idea as far as for us, to build those relationships, to continue to always come back. Fredericksburg is very well situated. That's one of our most tourist towns for everything, between Dallas and Houston and Fort Worth and all those places within a day trip. So
well, and the reason I asked that is because it goes back to what we were talking about before we turned the cameras on. is, you always see the things on social media where people are like, why do people have kids in breweries?
Right.
And it's like, well, that's what breweries are for. And the generation, my generation, I have a 6 and an 8-year-old. Like, that's how I socialize. Like, that's what I like to do. I want to go out and have a couple pints. My kids can run around playground, or just in the yard, do whatever. And what we're seeing with craft distilleries is that shift of you make it that destination, not just for over 21, but, hey, look, bring your kids out. We've got stuff for them to do. We've got giant Jenga. We've got, we've got food on site. Like, your kids aren't going to be bored. Like, let them get out, get some fresh air. And I think for wineries, anything craft and in that industry, I think it's important to realize that, where it's like, don't isolate people who can't get childcare for a weekend. They want to bring out. So it's great to hear you guys are doing the same thing, because we see it, like I said, with craft distilleries, where they're like, okay, we're now a destination. Like, we want to be your local watering hole. Come out and have a drink. And your kids can run amok responsibly. Like, keep an eye on them. But it's great to hear that you had that, because I mean, there's wineries when I started coming here that I remember seeing kids on picnic blankets and all that. And then as popularity grew, it was all of a sudden like, if you're not wine club, kick
Get
bricks.
out,
Yeah, I think it's to me, I feel like, as a local, it's become over processed.
Yeah.
And you got to join, you got to get in line, you got to do this, you got to do that. And my favorite, I mean, it's been less than 10 years. I think that you used to be able to go, I mean, just mixing all of these, Garrison used to go out there when they first started, got on the map, used to go out there and they'd have the honor system beer, and you get a glass of wine, you could play cornhole, you could play the games, and then go on your tour, and it was just a fun couple of hours, and the kids could play and they'd go on the tour and learn something. And we used to go to the wineries and do the same thing. They'd have big fire pits and you could buy a bottle and just hang out. We used to do that on Thanksgiving or Christmas. We get bored hanging around the house, like, let's just go out there and do that. But now you try to do that and it's like, I'm going to send you bottles for the rest of your life, and you got to pay for that. And you got to sign up for this and everything else.
Yeah,
I just want to. I want to share, a bottle of wine with 4 or 5 people and just hang out by the fire or whatever, and let the kids play in the grass and whatever, and just to have an outlet. But that's a local thing. I think if you're a tourist, you're just like, maybe you want to be processed.
Well, but that's that local privilege to say it. You should cater to it a little bit, because I remember, when I was still in Fredericksburg, my mom came to visit from Southern Illinois. I took her out to one of my favorite wineries, and we're not going to drink a bottle. I like reds. My mom likes whites.
Yeah.
I couldn't get glasses of wine.
Yeah.
You got to buy a bottle. I'm like, I don't want a bottle.
Right.
Like, for one, I'm a type 1 diabetic. A bottle of red wine is going to put me in the hospital. I just want a glass. Sorry, we can't do glasses. You got to buy bottles. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah. Fuck you, I'm leaving.
Like, I got to buy a $45 bottle?
Right.
Like, I just want to have a glass with my mom who's visiting and show her your guys' lovely place. Yeah. And you're isolating me, and
I'm going to HEB.
The thing is, I think a lot of the you hear this now. A lot of the locals about everything are kind of like, everything's too expensive across the board. And they think they should have discounts. Locals, like, you give me a discount because I'm local. I'm not. What I'm saying is more of what's the experience because you're local. The privilege of being. I'm not looking. Every business shouldn't give me a discount.
Right.
If I'm going to go somewhere, I'll pay full fare, but. But what's the experience that maybe that we can get as locals that tourists maybe don't have the opportunity? And, they'd say come out during the week, when the tourists aren't here, which is an option.
When half of them aren't even open, though.
Well,
right. Unfortunately.
But the same thing with restaurants. A lot of restaurants aren't open Monday or Tuesday too because of that. So that kind of sucks, because we don't go out on the weekends because it's crazy.
Switched, and I think like it's the biggest risk what Fredericksburg have to deal with right now, and you can see it like on the shops on Main Street, how it changed and how many traditional shops had to close already, and the whole focus goes towards the tourism industry, and I think like the locals have at some point that they get lost in this whole circle, because especially with this strategy, just like to focusing on, and when we breaking the week just like down to 3 days. You know, it's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and everybody is just focused on that. And then the rest of the week, it's just like kind of falling apart and going like to recap or to restock, and then you're doing this again. So, but the season tells us like, okay, we're talking about from 12 months, 8 months, we're a high season, and the rest is just like surviving. So every restaurant and every winery has literally the same problem when they're going towards like this straight direction and want to focusing on just this 3 days a week and making as much as the money they can make to survive the rest of the time, which in my opinion like is myth thinking.
Yeah.
Because if you're going straight and say like, okay, you set up your whole advertising to the entire crowd, you don't have to think about like that you are, you know, if you're not
season,
busy
out of
enough,
season,
you know,
yeah.
the season, off season, high season, and you have like straight every day is season, you know, because there's so much potential, and especially so many people are moved already to Fredericksburg. Just like in the last 6 years I came, you know, and see how like the
evolved,
increase
yeah.
of people they are actually living here and working here. So, but the focus goes more and more straight to the tourist industry. Yes, I mean, like this is the biggest portion here in town, but don't forget the local crowd or the people that are actually living here. It makes their life way harder to stay here.
Oh yeah, that's why Brandon moved.
And it's
Yeah.
you know that it's still affordable for someone who actually lives here or is born and raised here.
Right.
I mean, we get more and more in contact with people that are born and raised here, they have ranches here outside, and they're thinking about, okay, how can they keep up with the tax increase every year and keep their properties, which is maybe like in 5th, 6th, 7th generations already, you know, and they are paid off, and they're paid like I don't know how many 100 years already, some taxes already, and now the new generation in charge of have to think about, okay, we have to sell a portion of that you can still afford it, or you know. So, and this is a management which maybe gets towards to city, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so that they are supporting this industry flow and actually raising like this whole
Awareness
thought,
thing, yeah.
the awareness of, you know. So, and this have to be changed,
Yeah.
because then you get the socialism part and all the things, and that people are, you know,
Yeah.
if I have to think about, okay, what I'm doing on a Sunday with my 2 kids and my wife, so my boys are 7 and 14. If I'm going to a winery, I don't know, is this allowed to take them there, you know, because it depends on, and
Yeah.
this have to be changed.
Yeah. So guys, if you're listening to this, 2027, Henry for mayor. For mayor. Henry Cooking for mayor. 2027.
There you go.
Oh shit! I love it.
I mean, like, that's just what I'm noticing. I'm always listening to what's going on here, and actually, it took us years before we finally made a decision to move to Fredericksburg. So I was studying Fredericksburg almost like 4 or 5 years before we actually moved, and you did some research, and you know, look, hey, what does the industry looks like? If I have a job based there, and you know, is it compared to the life we had in Germany? Is it going up? If it's is there a future base there, or is it just the same? You know, before you're doing like moves like that, you have to really listen to, okay, that's maybe like a one life decision, especially when you move in an entire family. So and you don't want to fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to find a niche. You know, like everybody in this town, you either work for somebody or you work for yourself, right? And it's like, it's hard because it can go either way, you know. And so sometimes you're lucky. A lot of it's luck. A lot of it's hard work, you know. But it's just being at the right place, right time, You know, like when my story was Brandon, it's just it's one of those things that you never know. You know, so you just got to be prepared and ready. So if that opportunity does come up, you can cash in on it, man. But you know, like Jay making an opportunity for himself, that's crazy. You know, and then it's like I don't want to say it's who you know. It's just you guys got to put into work, and you know.
I mean that goes back to you and I's story, and to clarify, you and I knew each other long before the bar.
Oh yeah.
Back in your Fisher and Weezer days, and when I first came on with the museum, used to come hang out in your photo studio when I needed to get out of the office. And eat.
Yeah.
I always got the hey, I'm shooting some food photos. Yeah. You want to come over?
Well, which office did you go to? Because Leo had he had little spots all over town.
This was back. He was in the back of the Fisher and Weezer warehouse there, across from the ballparks. Is when I first met him. But it goes back to that. When we talk about the local support and not isolating them is, the same story with how you got the chef gig is like it's all in who you know and who you take care of. And if people have a bad taste in their mouth, they're not gonna recommend your place or your spot. And when I worked at the foundation, I worked really hard to relationships with local businesses on Main Street, the wineries, the hotels, was all
And Fredericksburg's a small town, man.
Yeah.
And
it still is. That's what's wild. Is there's a lot of Ashlanders. I was one, but
me too.
It's still but at least you're German. You can blend in.
Yeah.
I'm just an Irish from Southern Illinois. But it goes back to that. I mean, it's still that small community where you've got people coming in, you're 2 million visitors, your population is growing, but it still runs off that small town network of word gets around fast, and the moment you start crossing the wrong people or doing the wrong thing and you're shady, I think
it's true.
People will quickly
we're going to realize who the posers are pretty quick, man, in the next 5 years, 5-10 years. We'll see. They'll probably sell off and new people will come in, or the old people will fucking buy them back. I don't know. We'll see.
Hard to say.
Yeah, well, it's a two-way street. That's the thing. I think a lot of locals want to complain about this, that, and the other thing. But I think it's you got to give too. And figure out how to support the things that you want to support. You don't have to support everything.
Right.
You don't have to support everybody. And there's ones you need to sniff it out and know who you're going to support, and who you want to support, and who you want to be here 5 years from now, and who needs to maybe not. But it is a two-way street. That's a struggle, to get people to come out and do it, because there's a lot of misconceptions too. Oh, it's too busy. I can't get in. I can't bring the kids. I can't. They don't have what I'm looking for. And there's a lot of product and stuff to buy that is here. You don't have to leave town to get it in a lot of cases too.
Yeah. If not, there's San Antonio and Austin an hour away. But I mean, we want to keep money here, man.
Well, and it's it's easy to buy it online.
Amazon shit.
Right.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, Christmas is coming, man, and it's like, who's gone out of town to go shopping for Christmas here at the table right now? Has anybody?
No.
You?
I've been a lot of places, I've been
everywhere, man.
I've been all over the state. We've been all over the place, but pickups. But a lot of stuff. We go to these shows and.
They give it to you.
There's retailers that are from people who have booths and selling really cool stuff. I mean, this isn't just, it's not a craft fair. These are legit businesses that are selling really, really cool, unique things, and you make friends with them, and we buy stuff from all sorts of different people. And we barter. We barter. A little bit of barter.
I remember back in the day, man. That's all we did.
Yeah.
What we did for booze, though.
By the way, this chili's pretty good.
Thanks, bro.
The Boudin was fire.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
thank you to my sister-in-law Amaris.
I'm gonna have to try some.
Justin Thibodeau, man. They brought it in during Thanksgiving. They brought it in from Rain, Louisiana. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the hookup with the Boudin.
Yeah, it's legit.
I know. I love Boudin, man. I try to, if it's ever offered, I'm ordering that stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But some of it can be a little, like.
I've never had shit Boudin, man.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I've never had it. I've never had bad Boudin. I used to go. I remember New Orleans, man. I love just for the red rice and beans, red beans and rice.
Hell yeah,
red rice and beans, red beans and rice. I've been drinking, guys. When I guys do shit backwards.
Frijoles rojos.
A huevo. So yeah, dude. I mean, I love food from Louisiana, but I almost made a brisket for tonight. I said, "Fuck, man, that's started yesterday."
Let's talk about that for a minute. Leo's now using a.
Oh, you fucker! Yeah. So the first time I interviewed Jay, we're giving him shit about pellet grills, and we said that anyone who uses pellet grills is wearing Daisy Dukes while cooking.
I think you posted
I posted a
meme of that too, so you can probably go back to
yeah.
Leo's
I'm gonna Photoshop.
that.
I'm gonna Photoshop my face on a
Yeah, the meme.
as a meme, man. But I went down and I had a brisket from a place I would never go to because we trash talked about it a little bit off camera, and I probably talked about it on camera. But it's like they had a barbecue place open up, and I thought I'm gonna go try it out because I like brisket.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and bought 2 pounds, and I tipped, and and it was like $80. 2 pounds is literally you're paying a quarter a pound per slice, which is sliced about a quarter of an inch, and so you got 6. I got 6 slices plus the tip for $80. $80.
You got the tip.
I got the tip, literally, just like the tip in, right? And so it was like I got $80 for 6 slices, and it was like shit, man. I got back and it was like it was okay. I bought brisket the next day at HEB parking lot. Not out of somebody's trunk.
No,
I got it out of that trailer and HEB produced HEB parked
Pretty damn good.
and it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, same price. The average cost for brisket right now is $35 a pound.
Yeah.
That was the average cost for $35 a cooked brisket. And I loved the flavor, so I went back and said, "What were you cooking?" I go, "We were using post stoke." And I'm thinking, I don't see a fire pit.
I don't see
smoke coming out and shit. And it's like, okay. So I went into HEB and I found a bag of pellets. But I went down to my Ace, which is 2 blocks down here, and Kyle was working, in there, the owner of Kyle Peterman Ace, and I'd seen this smoker for $1,000, and I was like, bro, I'll give you $500 cash. The typical Mexican trying to barter his way out there, and it's like, man, I think, and he's brutally honest. It's like, I think it's like $650 is my cost on that thing, and I go, bro, I'll give you $500. He goes, no, I can't do that. He goes, so it's like, well, think about it. He goes, what if I cook for you, and I give you $500? That's $1,500 just for you and a couple guys. So now you're, I'm getting ripped off, not you. And he looked at me and goes, I don't know. So I said, okay, well, I think I'm gonna go leave. I was doing some stuff at the bar. And I have my buddy, Alejandro, my tattoo artist, a good friend of mine now, and he's like, "Oh man, that's a sweet thing. You should buy it for $650 still." It's like, nah, I'm only gonna pay $500. So I got there and I was working on some plumbing there for the bar, and I go, fuck, I need a part. I got to go back to Ace. I walked in there, and I just whipped out the cash. I saw him. It's like, bro, come on, $500 cash right now. Okay, $500. Just tell him I said $500 at the register. So it's like, shit. I told Alejandro, grab that thing, roll it over here. I want to load that shit up before he changes his mind. And I grabbed it, loaded it up, and I came back to the house and we unloaded it. We went back to the bar, finished that shit. I went to HEB as soon as I finished it and bought me a brisket, threw it on there, and that night. Put it on at 8 o'clock at night. I did the J thing where I cooked it overnight. On a pellet smoker, set it to very low, 12 hours out there, and then another 5 hours wrapped. Reached 203 degrees, took it out, let it rest for another 4 or 5 hours. Dude, literally it takes me 24 hours almost to cook that fucking brisket, but it was like fucking butter. So I paid the first brisket was like $89. For a whole fucking brisket instead of 6 slices.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so fucking worth it.
$500 brisket. I'd love to have a mill scale or a Centex smoker full and,
Oh, yeah.
and have the time
Yeah.
to work a fire. I mean, that's kind of manly. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
You know,
Puts hair on your balls.
but who's got I don't have 24 hours to
Right.
stand there.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
neither. Yeah.
and,
That's
Sure.
left to
so I think the pellet. I mean, it's just a means to an end. It's
Yeah.
not the best answer, but it's
well, to me, it was.
it's
I mean,
simple.
honestly,
answer.
I mean, it's about the cut of meat. I for Thanksgiving this year, I cooked everything on that pellet smoker.
Oh, dude,
And
$500 well spent.
Yeah, dude. I even wore my thong and my fucking Daisy Dukes.
There you go.
Wore thong and Daisy Dukes for that
The whale
shit.
tail out the back.
Hell yeah, dude.
Blue jean
Fucking
thong.
fuck yes. So I cooked the brisket, Wagyu brisket. That was the best brisket I've ever had in my life, man.
Wow.
I cooked brisket. I cooked lamb. I did lamb chops. I did 2 racks in there. I did 2 racks of baby back. I did chicken thighs. I did salmon.
Wow.
I did some sausage. And dude, I think we had everything but turkey. We had
Sounds like you need a second one.
God damn, dude. you have one too, bro.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
you know,
my. Yeah,
yeah,
I have a
you're good,
Traeger.
too.
I love it. Although I wish I had the Rectech.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Rectech's.
That's what separates the gay with the like the like Daisy Duke man.
Probably
is,
right. Yeah.
Is the
probably
Rick
correct.
Is
Taker.
the
But honestly, I would recommend it, and I think that Ace still has them there. They're a lot better quality than some. I did go to Sam's and Costco and saw some last time, and it was like, dude, I got a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
$500, bro. Thank you, thank you so much, Kyle, for finally giving in, and I still owe you that dinner. So whenever you're ready, just give me a call, brother. Just give me a call.
We got some boudin over here if you want to come
Yeah,
talk about it.
we still got boudin. We made some chili in the Fredericksburg cast iron, Dutch oven. We have a pan sitting with tamales there that I actually have some tamales for everybody after this.
Maybe if you don't want to do like a whole dinner, you could be like, dude, let me come up here. I'll smoke a brisket on this thing. I'll slice little pieces, give it out to the customers.
Oh, do it in the parking lot.
Don't fucking give him ideas, bro.
He's gonna take you up on that.
Yeah, I know he actually just poured the new pavement.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I remember when I was a kid, my father would do stuff for him. He would order a whole bunch of signboards for my father, and one time he decided to do something for the community. I'll never forget this, because I think I was like 12 or 13. He built an entire half pipe for skating. I mean, he brought professional skaters out from all over the place, the U.S., and they were just skating on that big ass, ramp and half pipe thing on his parking lot. And that was something that I will never forget, because he was doing shit for the community even back then, man. And and ever since, he's a cool guy. I mean, a lot of people, I'm not in politics and shit, but it's like I see past that and I see the person who he is, and it's like he's the badass when it comes to what he does. He's doing a lot of shit, good shit for in his store, anyways.
Yeah. Right.
Isn't that wild though? Is the politician is different than the person.
Fuck yeah.
Right? The perfect example of that is that.
Yeah,
Where
totally.
it's like, no, like, love him as a person.
Yeah, but now I'm doing
Oh, man, that guy talking is not the person I know. What is going on?
Yeah, I know, bro. Totally. Yeah, that's why, that's how I am, man. Yeah, fuck that. I used to see the person.
I mean, when did his family first open that?
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
they've been
I was
here.
kid. Yeah. I mean, I remember I was either 10 or 12,
Wow.
and he's been there. So, yeah, good. So,
And he's finally getting that upgrade.
fuck yeah. So, but anyways.
Easier parking lot to get in and out of.
Okay, so last but not least, dude, my brother Henry over here, man. So, Henry's been rocking it. I mean, right now, I've known Henry since, since the restaurant. What was it? What was the restaurant called anymore?
Autos?
No, Autos, and then Sage.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I mean,
Sage.
we really got to know each other at Sage, and then after that, it was like, okay, we started hanging out more, talking more. We both have Harleys, and we drive. I remember Henry calls me, goes, "Hey man, let's go for a ride." And it's funny because Henry's the only one that did it right with me. He called me and he let's hang out, let's talk. Everybody else that calls me, hey, I want to know what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me how you're doing it. And my response would always be, look, there's this thing on my website. You can pay this much, and I can consult and I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing.
Right.
That was Henry, man. Henry's like, what are you going to know, Henry? He's like, over some cigarettes and beer, and it's like whatever, because he's a friend. You know, when you want to have a relationship with somebody, and it's not just about business. I mean, you know, you're an open book with anything. You know, I'm not successful. I mean, I don't feel like I am successful. I just like to work my ass off. If I'm not doing great at one thing, I'll just jump on something else. I may not be making money on it, but it's like I'm staying alive. You know, I'm enjoying what I do, and that's all that matters. I think, as long as I can, you know, provide food and pay the bills, I'm good. But it was really cool when Henry came in because we could bounce ideas off of each other, and that to me was like that was really cool because Henry has the experience. You know, he came from working at these badass restaurants in Europe, and and it was like. It was cool because, I mean, we could bounce ideas, you know, and I can say, no, I'll never do that. And I still tell Henry, I'll never do that. You know, it's like, let's do a restaurant. It's like, fuck that. You know, I'm not going to be and it was funny because our first conversation, I don't know if you remember this, Henry, but it was at Warner's when it was still over at the other place. And we sat outside and we were eating. I don't know what the fuck we were eating anymore, but it was like... he was still working at Sage, and I think his one comment that stuck with me, and it still stays with me, is like, and I never used it towards him, was, I don't want to be stuck in a box anymore.
No.
I hate the box. And go. And
that's what I was going to ask. What are the 2, 3, 4 reasons why you wouldn't want to do it?
Yeah, and it was the box, and it was like at that time, I was a little slow and I asked the box. That little fucking room that you stand in the back on top of that stove cooking without having to go outside unless somebody bitches about something or you need to go bitch somebody out about something, you know, that you're always stuck there with your head down, cooking, yelling at somebody.
But is it different if you have a badass
didn't matter.
kitchen?
You were
like if you could design your own restaurant and you had unlimited funds,
bro,
you could build...
The fucker was at like a $2 million kitchen.
It doesn't matter.
He had everything.
Yeah, you're in the box, even it's just a bigger, nicer box.
Maybe it's the mental box as well.
It's, I mean, I was honored in my career to have several options to play with different budgets and had different opportunities and different types of kitchen and grand openings I was in charge of and build teams, build concepts, and I'm still.
You still have an itch. You still have an itch.
I'm still not finished. So you're always looking for something what makes you happy, and you're always looking for something what
to push you, maybe
you push you, and also says like, okay, that's the goal, or that's kind of like the way I would sit there and enjoy, and that's the end.
That's how you measure your success. Your success for you.
So, and I had so many different types of experience I was able to make, and what was supported from great people, from mentors, from investors, from companies, from coworkers I was able to work with. And was able to teach them and saw like the increase of knowledge I could share, because when I was young, and I started when I was when I graduated after high school, and I started direct my apprenticeship, and it was a rough time because this industry in general it's rough, and I had so many fights to fight. And to get respect, and to get known as a person, as a human. So I went through the really traditional way, you know. And at some point when I got the respect of my coworkers and of my teachers, and I said, okay, it's worth it to put some energy in this kid, you know, because he really wants it and he's really passionate into, and he's not giving up. So, and this is the most important thing. To never give up. And I learned from them, the first thing I learned from them was like, okay, don't let anybody put you in a box if you don't want it. You know, you always have the free choice to do whatever you want, because this industry is like literally endless. And you can reach out in any direction you want it. And and that's my maybe like the most important thing. I'm always trying to transport. And when I moved to Fredericksburg, to the US, with zero knowledge about how the work life works here, of course I did my study thing before and was trying to, get as much as information I could into that. It's not everything is brand new, but still it was brand new, and it was a weird situation when I moved. So I came in January 2020, right before COVID hit.
Right.
So, and I was here for about a month just by my own because my family came after me. I was the one who had to set up everything, and then my wife and the kids came over after. So, and then the situation comes shut down, and you have to deal with the language barrier. I mean, my English knowledge was way lower as now. I'm still learning, and I'm still like trying to educate myself. But I was not really able to transport and to explain in the way I did 15 years ago. When I had students, when I was leading teams, when I was able to build systems and was responsible like for $millions of sales during the year. So I started from scratch. I started, the reset button. The only thing what was always the same was the knowledge and the education and the way I'm communicating with people, in a human way. And I think like this is the most important part you can learn, So it's something that you are raised from your parents and the social part, So that's what you learned when you were a kid, right? So. And all this was helping a lot to get into this new role here and to connect some people. And I know Leo, so he was literally the first one I met when I started at Autos, and then we had this gig at Fischer and Wieser, and I remember it was like yesterday when he was recording me doing an online course because everything was shut down, and he was recording an online course, and I don't know how many breaks we had to do because
because of English.
My English was just like horrible.
Well, you also didn't have to just deal with the English barrier,
Yes.
but you're working at Autos, and I know the kitchen there was predominantly Hispanic.
It was.
So it was English.
It was not only that I have to deal with the suppliers, which was mostly like English-speaking reps. I also had
Your crew
90% or 95% of my crew was just like Spanish-speaking, but actually that was the easiest part because if you learn during the time to communicate in so many different language options, like. Something is like learning by doing or showcasing.
Right.
So if you're able to showcase actually what you want and what is the final product, what is the final goal, you don't have to talk, or you don't have to speak the same language. So this is something I learned definitely in Europe when I was
Learning by doing.
Yeah, learning by doing and showcasing, not only sitting in your office and doing like the paperwork and expecting that someone is doing your job. And just yelling to people when they're doing this not in the correct way. You should. Or
Not like Gordon Ramsay? You didn't do the Gordon Ramsay shit?
No. I was working under several chefs that had similar attitudes, and this was for me just like the selection when I tried to build my own system, my own leadership system and type of leadership. When I remembered, okay, in this situation, didn't really feel comfortable at this time when someone was yelling to me, so don't do it to your stuff, so this was kind of like the warning sign. What I always kept in my mind and was always like this red button thing, that you don't cross any border and go personal to someone, and I guess like in general this is kind of like the success why I was able to work with so many people here in the last 6 years, and get the respect. I mean, I'm respecting everybody who's working with me, or it's like sharing ideas, or it's like you can learn from everybody. So, and if you're going just like straight with this kind of mentality or like these thoughts, you will always be successful in any way. It doesn't matter. It's like it's a financial way or just like building relationships, building friendship. So you will always like beneficial from that. You know?
Yeah.
And I guess like this is the way how we all get together. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm still asking like, hey, how are you doing this? I mean, he's doing this like a couple of years longer as me as a private chef now, and I get like the theory part, you know, so how it works, but there's still question marks, and it's always good to know, like to have someone like Leo. You can always reach out, and it's not like that I'm expecting. Tell me your secrets, you know. So it's just like, okay, sharing experience and sharing ideas. And I mean, we got it always twice or three times together when we did some pop-ups. I mean, it's super fun, you know. And I like to work with other chefs together and sharing knowledge and sharing ideas. And yeah, I'm like,
I think it's fun. I mean,
That's all about.
I feel like the more people that you can incorporate to a project.
yeah.
In any project, you know, even the winery, or just, you know, marketing, anything, it's just, you thrive off of that. It's like in a band. I was in a band, and it's like, you're only as good or you're better if the other person is better than you are. Then everyone as a band is a lot better, right? So, you know, you surround yourself with better people, you become a better, you know, person at what you do. I mean, you may not do the same shit, but it's like, I don't know, is it because you push yourself to be better, or just because, you know, just everything just falls into place and things just become better just because of that situation? I don't know what it is, but it's just, it's a fact. It happens every time, and it never fails. I've never worked with somebody that's not better and had things go to shit. You know, it never has. You know, it's like me and Henry do these pop-ups, and it's fun because we don't do it to make money. You know, we do it to socialize and to meet people and to just put ourselves out there. But really, you know, we're happy. We break even. We're static. You know, we make a little profit. You know, and then we go and spend it on beer and this afterwards. You know, so it's like we do it every time, except for this last time.
Going away faster as we're collecting them.
Yeah, I know, that's for sure. But we enjoy doing it, you know, and it's great because like. Today, you know, my mom made some tamales and I put it out there, you know, and it's like, hey, does anybody want tamales? And it's funny because everybody, you know, a lot of the people that I had met at our pop-ups, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I want some. So they came over today, and it was cool because, you know, you make those connections, even though they were local, you know, not, you know, they're, you know, Auslanders as well, you know. It was cool. Because now you have, you know, that local community has grown, and you know you're able to be, you know, part of their life, and they're a part of yours, and that's really cool. So I think, you know, Henry's bringing a lot of cool stuff now, and we were talking just about the cooking aspect of it, but I think where Henry thrives, or he's been thriving lately, is in the products that he's been making. He's been making some really cool products, and it's like you know. Every time somebody comes in here, like today to the property, it's like, oh my God, Leo, you can do everything. It's like, no, I just, and I say this all the time, just fucking around. It's like, it's because I'm Mexican, you know. We do, we get into everything. We do whatever we have to do to survive, and we do our own shit just because it's cheaper for us to do it than just hire somebody else, right? I mean, it's like that with everyone, but Henry, you know, I feel like he'd be part Mexican too, man. The guy is like, if he's not cooking, it's like, what am I doing? You know, he started off with the pecans, and he brought me some pecans one time, and it was like, oh my God, these things are fucking good, you know, roasted pecans with all these, you know, rosemary, you know, all these seasonings. It's like, they're addicting. I'm diabetic too, man, and it was like, shit, I can't be doing this. And so we started carrying it over at 78624, and you know, sell them in packages. And since then, he uses every part of that pecan. You know, you're making syrup now.
Yeah.
How many products do you have now?
Well, actually, when I looking back to my product list, I'm guessing today I made 2 another products. So I'm going like to 25, 26 different products, but they're also what I really like is the sources I'm getting here, you know. So like the product, what I get, what farmers are sharing with me, what I'm meeting at farmers market, and then they're showcasing me like, hey, by the way, I have this peppers, I have this elderberries, I have this pecans, I have this to showcase, and they're sharing this product, and I can turn it in with my signature, with my ideas, with my recipes, and something unique, and take it back to the community and sell it in on farmers market, or I see like how bartenders are using the syrups, or even like the toppings or pickles, whatever I'm doing. I see that on different menus for some salads and something like this. That's actually makes me proud, you know, because it feels like, okay, this is something. And I mean, in general, I really like my job, what I'm doing. I'm really passionate into and see when something is built, you know. So you build something, you build like a dish, you build flavors, you combine like new flavors and see how people get excited. And that was my part when I started. Okay, if I'm not working as a private chef or consulting, I have to do something, you know. So, and then I started, and with the pecans, it was kind of my first product almost like a year and a half ago. And now it turned into like on a weekly base to a new product line where I'm using just small batches of products of whatever I get provided, and sometimes I'm harvesting by myself. You know, I got persimmons from Salvation Spirit Distillery. You know, they had it on a tree, and it's like no one is using it. It's okay, I will pick it and turn it into like a persimmon jam today, and turn it up like and we'll sell it on the farmers market as a new product. Or another guy, I really like their lettuce. It's Mickey's Garden and Hunt. I worked with their hydroponic lettuce together almost like the entire 6 years. So, it was one of the first one I met when I started at Autos. So, and they have the property in Hunt out there. And then he said, like, if you want to do anything with prickly pears, you know, I have tons of them there. So, okay.
You gotta harvest that shit yourself.
What I did 2 months ago, I went there when I was ready and spent almost like a day and harvest some prickly pears from the cactus, you know, and just like was fully prepared and had my ice chest with me and gloves and all the things. So, and then I protest them, you know, so cleaning up, you know, and it takes me like hours, and still like to peel this shit takes me hours.
It sucks, man, but it's labor of love, right?
Well, there's a lot of that. My son he's gotten into all the things that, you know, are native here, and he's like, you can eat all this stuff. And we don't eat it. We don't. I mean, you know, we gave up on that. You know, I mean, some people probably still do, but you know, but most people don't. And you know, the one, it was like, he's like, you can eat the berries off the agarita. And I always try to get rid of the agarita. I hate it, you know, because you bump into it and it cuts you or whatever. But those berries, when they come in the spring, you can knock them off there and eat them. And you know, it's crazy.
You got to get them to get into those beans on the mesquite. You know, a lot of people are, you know, doing that stuff. You know?
Henry, let me ask, because I don't know your full resume, but you've clearly have experience all over the world. Where you're at today, did you foresee this as where you would end up, or was, you know, I know so many chefs, because you hear the stories of like Michelin-stars and chasing that fine dining, and like, were you on that path and then this was a detour, and did it work out? Are you happier now than you were chasing that like restaurant life? Because it seems like you are, like, just hearing you talk about prickly pears and pecans, it seems like where you're at now, more of a natural, simplistic environment is where you thrive as a chef and as a creative person.
I would say it's a good question. When I started my career, I was driven of so many good chefs, they had always like to look forward and have this kind of as an example and say like, okay, you want to be like this guy or this guy, and it helped definitely for the first couple of years to survive this apprenticeship and survive like the first couple of years of as a young chef before you get really educated and more self-sustainable. But as I know, or as I notice, especially the first 6 years, yes. I was driven to end up in a Michelin-star restaurant as a worker. Yeah, so I did my resume, I did my portfolio, and I went to like from A to C, the steps you have to go in the hierarchy to end up in kind of this restaurants that you are actually able to apply for. Because just like to say, oh, I want to work in a Michelin-star restaurant and then apply for, and then you expect that they're hiring you. It was not the case, not like 15 years ago. I mean, maybe now it's a little bit easier, but in the time when I grew up and I started in this business, in this my career, it was just like a privilege to work for some of these chefs in some of these restaurants, and they had a huge waiting line. So you had to come up with a really traditional resume, which shows them like, okay, you did like the first step, the second step, the third step, the fourth step, and you have the basic knowledge and the foundation to actually work with the products what they are providing, because they have really expensive products, and there's no range to mess up with, because it's too cost intensive. So when I invested the first 6.5 years to build up my resume, to go back 2 steps from the hierarchy line to apply again as a young chef, as already an approved chef, just to get the chance to get a job there. I noticed like during the time it was really intensive, and I don't want to miss this time. It was so clarifying for the rest of my career, what I really want to do or what I really want to focus on. Because I was just driven. Okay, I wanna be like a Michelin-star chef, and I want to cook like a Michelin-star, and I want to be well respected and awarded, and all this these awarding things. But during the time, and it was almost like over 3 years, I worked in a 2 Michelin-star restaurant. I was a sous chef there, and I saw so many people are crying and leaving and coming and crying and leaving and coming and going, and I survived them all. Yeah. So, and it was in just a certain time that you were well respected, and you were part of the team. So the executive chef was accepting you, and at this point it changed the whole game, because then you get responsibility line up to your portion, which puts a lot of pressure on you. So, and what I noticed at this point, that I lost a little bit the happiness on the job himself. Because I was just like focusing on do everything correct, do everything right, and approach co-workers to go the same direction. So I was able, I had to teach like the co-workers that came after me to explain them the rules, explain them exactly how this whole system works, and you had to take the responsibility. And of course, if some people from Michelin-star, from Michelin walking into the door, so everybody gets crazy and everybody gets nervous, and everybody, it's just like, it's chaotic, because everybody feels the pressure like 1,000 times more as usual. So, and because you can lose so much, and it's from the financial way, from the name you can lose, your reputation you can lose if they're breaking you down from like 1 star to 0 or 2 star to 1. You know, it makes a lot of impact to your entire operation. And I thought for myself, that's not what it is. That's not what it's supposed to be in my mind. You know,
That's not what life is about.
no, it's
You know?
not like just like hesitating someone's opinion to make it right and earn the award that someone feels like you are good or you are not good. And it's just the perspective of one person or two person, and the other 1,000 customers or 2,000 customers you serve in between, you know, and you make them happy. They maybe had a different opinion, you know. So and that's why that was the point for me when I decided for myself. I would like to cook always like with good products, educate people, and you know, doing the best I can and be creative. But this was the first situation when I felt someone put me in the box, and I don't like to be in the box. So, and then after this experience, I get my first grand opening situation. It was for a big hotel company, design company in Germany, and they was putting so much trust in me without knowing me, just of the because of the reputation what I got from the Michelin-star restaurant, which was really helpful, yeah, to get this job. And it was my first position as executive, and I was able to design the kitchen in the way I thought like it's functional. I was able to make the whole entire food concept, building my first team, trained my first team, and get it done, get it rolling. So, and then really quick, so after a year and a half, 2 years roughly, we get to a similar situation at the Michelin. Showed up and said like, okay, if you would apply, because you have to apply for, you know, take some notes.
So you apply first, and then they may or may not come.
Yes.
No, I didn't know that.
So,
okay.
and they said, okay, if you would apply because you are right at the edge, yeah. So and you keep going and put a little bit more effort in and tweak here and there. And then you are able to get in this range, you know, we think you are on the way to go to this point. But then I said, okay, but I don't want it. I don't want it. So I was sitting in front of the two representatives of the Michelin in our area and said like, sorry guys, I don't want to be like in this box, what you think I'm able to do, because I'm like what I'm doing now, and the free choice to do experiments in any cuisine. The same literally what I'm doing with my product line right now. So if someone comes around tomorrow and says like, hey, I have this prickly pears, I have this tomatoes, I have whatever product, turn it into some cool stuff without having no original recipe in place, have already like a notice of customer representation that that it tastes good or that it works, you know, just to try this, because there's no space in this kind of segment that you're trying like new recipes and think like, okay, let's see how it works. They are counting on recipes they are already established, and that's the thing when they're putting you in the box, and they are.
There's no room for experiment. Yeah,
There's
you have
no
to do
room
it.
for
It's like baking. You can't fuck it up. You have to follow the rules.
You have to follow follow the rules, and you have to follow the recipe. Otherwise, your dough will no rise. You know.
Yep.
So, and that was for me the point where I decided for myself, okay, my pursuit of happiness is more when I have my freedom and to do whatever I want and create my own thing and play with my creativity and yeah, do some freestyle cooking in between, yeah, and
It's perfect.
that's where I am now.
But you know, it's where happiness is, man. When you can do what you want to do. You know, you don't have to respond to anybody. I mean, you want your customers to love what you do too. You know, but still, I think one of the biggest part of getting your customer to love what you do is to feel confident that what you're doing is.
If you believe in yourself,
if you believe in yourself, right, then it just transposes on the customer, and they get it, because they can see it.
It's the same. It's the same like if you lead a team. If you come in the morning, and like you come in like as an angry bird, so everybody else will be like an angry bird. But if you come in and say, okay, let's put the positive motivation down, and let's go through this shit today. It doesn't matter if it's busy or not, or it gets complicated.
It will get done.
It gets done, and everybody will follow the same lead, because the first what they're looking for is like how you feel about, or how
you got to set that mood. You got to set that mood for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same like what you reflecting with the customers. If they see you like turning around and swinging your ass, with your nice pants, and have fun with, they are automatically joining you and say like, hey, what are you doing here? And and that's
but we don't
like
have that issue anymore, Henry. It's just you and I by ourselves. It's easy. So.
No, but I'm still missing like to surround us with people, because I like to teach people and see how they are growing with something you shared with someone else was sharing with you, and then you can transfer it to the next of you and see like how it works for them. And I like what I'm doing, and in between, for 2 weeks ago, I had 6 people there. They need a cooking class, like for morning brunch thing.
We were all there. He stayed the night there. You cooked in the morning, and then I cooked the dinner. It was funny. It's the Brudells, Rodney, and Michelle. Michelle was
actually this was a cool
She's
gig.
great.
You made some crepes. You made some crepes.
Yeah,
and
we make some crepes. Actually, we made it in your
cast iron.
Cast iron.
Nice.
Yeah. So we caramelized first.
It was funny because I think that's the only customer in all of Fredericksburg that's had all these people. There's 3 chefs stayed.
Yeah.
In one day, one house.
She's great.
Different. Yeah, Michelle's bad at Rodney's.
Yeah.
What did you walk into the house? Did you see the tequila tree?
No, I didn't make it to the house because I was just like flashed in this
new
cooking
kitchen.
school thing
Yeah.
what they build up. Just like for this kind of cooking classes.
Yeah, they're good people. I love
to have this, and it's like, oh my goodness, you are awesome stuff. And I don't want to leave this room.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah,
Great
they
people.
are.
You saw the tequila tree.
It was super
I've
fun.
seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah. No, they're good people. I'm glad, man. I'm glad you were there. When they told me, it's like, oh man, that's awesome. It's good that we have a handful of customers in Fredericksburg, locals that Blake also, good old friend Blake over at Boot Ranch. These are a lot of people that they appreciate the work we do, and I think that's awesome.
It makes it worth it.
It makes it totally worth it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's not just the money. It's like they're actually like really nice people.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, okay, so finish it up, man.
It's starting to rain.
I know it's not.
Yeah,
It's
we're
crazy,
rain.
man. We're 158 minutes into this show. Well, I'm probably gonna separate this in two shows,
Yeah,
man.
back to back.
But brother, I mean,
Oh man,
Theo,
what a beautiful evening.
I
Honestly.
know, but it's like you, man. We haven't even touched base. I mean, now you moved. I know business is going a lot better over there.
Yeah.
For what you do. I mean, I've cooked for people here that when they said we had a chef in College Station that would deliver to us. He goes, no, his name's Theo. He goes, oh my God, you know him? I go, yeah, he lived here. He just moved back.
Yeah.
Like, you better start calling him back to order his stuff. And it's like, Texas, as big as it is, it's small.
It is.
With people, you
Yeah.
know the right person, and the word gets out, and it's
Yes.
it's all word of mouth. And like even the way we talk about Fredericksburg being so small, you got to watch out what you say, what you do. I mean, it's just Texas in general. Everywhere,
Yeah.
man. You can be in New York, and we run into people that
for
are
sure.
in Texas.
For sure, man.
But
keep going on an island somewhere. There's some people from Texas.
yeah, no shit.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And A&M is like that too. I mean, it's like the A&M connection runs strong.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
brother. Well, I mean, this was badass tonight, man.
Yeah, what a beautiful evening, man. Thank you for putting all this together. I'm
Aw,
sorry I just
dude.
rode in like a hooker over here, just
Dude.
riding in.
Hey, dude, that was
At least you
good.
didn't cross state lines.
It was badass, though. I mean, you made it here when you said you were gonna make it here, you know, and
Yeah,
we had a good
pushed,
time.
man. I was like, we got to get there, dude. This,
Good
and
people.
we're gonna get ready. You know, it's been a while. You know, I had been back in College Station. I haven't really reconnected with a lot of my old friends.
We need some, man. You got us still.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I reconnected with a lot of my old customers. You know, but anyways, that's another thing. But no, it's good to be back for the couple days we are, and yeah, what a beautiful evening! What a beautiful, amazing group of men you put together tonight. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better table of people with knowledge, experience, and you know, we're all out there working hard and hopefully leaving our mark on Texas.
I hope
you
so,
know?
man. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope we, you know, we can keep it up
Oh
for as
yeah,
long as, you know, we can.
for sure.
Next time we talk to Jay, he's gonna have like, you know, whole another list of products and shit, man. We'll have that fucking skillet that I've been dying for my omelets. I hope I have that
That'll be
next.
good.
With my name on it.
Yep.
Well, it'll be badass. And Brandon's gonna have his own distillery next time. Oh,
I don't want to be a
shit.
janitor, man. No thanks.
I don't know, man. Henry's gonna have his
dirty
Michelin-star
work.
Yeah,
taco stand.
yeah.
It's gonna be badass. You heard about that, right? The taco stand. They got the
I heard
Michelin-star.
about it. It's ridiculous in
Yeah, I
my
know.
eyes, honestly.
It's crazy,
When
man.
I know what it takes and original. what it
Originally,
takes.
we used to
what,
take.
what it takes, you know, to on a daily base
Mm-hmm.
and to keep up with, and then I don't know.
And then
it's
all of a
just the
sudden in
right
Texas,
way,
yeah, in
you know.
Texas, barbecue place gets a Michelin-star. It's crazy, man.
There was like 2 or 3 of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you know.
Leo's backyard's the next Michelin star.
There you go. There you go.
No, I don't want that,
Chili,
man.
cornbread, boudin.
Original concept.
I'm gonna be back here cutting my grass with little hand clippers on the ground and shit. That's the way it should be. Shit. I know, but guys, thanks for coming over, man.
Yeah,
I hope you
absolutely.
enjoyed the food. I know I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
the company. I think I enjoyed the company more than the food.
Oh man, I
You
loved them
know,
both.
Yeah.
Yes, loved them both.
It was great,
Honestly.
man. I mean, Tyler had to leave, so Tyler's he's saying bye, and of course Jeff he pussied out really quick, and you know he had to.
Well, he's got to go
back.
count all that money.
No shit, man. He's got to dig up the holes and see how all his money's doing.
Maybe he's got to go check on his hemp field.
That's right. Oh, Jeff, we love you
Yes.
still, brother.
Yeah,
So-
always a great conversation.
Yeah, and then shout out to I had my cousin David Perez here tonight, man. He was behind the scenes. He shot some cool footage, so hopefully we'll have some pictures.
Yeah,
And,
man.
yeah, so we'll see how it turns out. So, anyways, we hope to release this before Christmas. So if you're listening
Yeah.
to this,
Happy holidays.
God, I hope we didn't drop the ball. So we should have it before.
Or Happy New Year.
Yay! I know. But if you're listening to this before Christmas, go out and buy some Fredericksburg cast iron.
Oh, for sure.
You know, me, you know,
Buy
and
some
Henry or
HG
so-
culinary products.
Yeah.
Buy a
Yeah, the
casserole.
private chefs, you guys
Yeah.
have gift cards? You can
Yeah,
get gift
you can-
cards. I
yeah, we
always
have
get
gift cards. We got a gift certificate. We have gift cards. You can go to our website, you know, hdculinary.com, right?
Yeah, so I actually have a gift box from one of my products I make. So yeah, if you need still like a present, what you actually can use to cook with. So yeah, feel free to.
Or they can also book you to come out and cook for them.
Yes, I mean of course. you
Yeah,
know.
that way you can buy the box and get Henry to come
There you
come
go.
out and cook
Yeah.
for you.
And I can showcase you like
Yeah.
what you actually can do with.
Right, but that's right, hdculinary.com.
Yes, sir.
So that's easy.com, and then I am eatfbgtx, eatfredericksburgtexas.com, the Dine-In Dude.
DineInDude.com.
Yeah, and find them, you know.
All
and then-
lowercase.
And of course, over here,
FBG Cast Iron.
fbgcastiron.com. Woo, and Brandon, you hit him up on
I've
his.
got nothing to offer you guys for the holidays. Do not contact me. But I will
What's that thing?
put
Those,
my support behind everyone at this table. I do not have any Fredericksburg cast iron, but I just cured my lodge cast iron.
oh, no.
So after this conversation, I will be.
Dude, I'll give you the one I
using
have on
I
here,
will
man.
be using some Christmas money.
Yeah.
He'll
So,
hook
yes.
it. Hey,
Support
dude.
these
Shut
lovely
the fuck
gentlemen.
up, man.
Take the cornbread home.
Take the-
and then
yeah, I was gonna
I'll
say,
backfill Leo.
Yeah, you can take the cornbread home, brother,
Yeah,
and my
there you
cast
go.
iron.
Deal.
Merry Christmas
Yeah,
to you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Support
Christmas to
all
you.
these gentlemen.
What
and
is
their
that thing
awesome
though?
products.
What is that thing those girls use to sell their pictures online?
Oh, like
Feet finder, OnlyFans.
feet grinder.
There you go. You can
Thirst
hit up,
trap.
You can hit up Brandon on OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Oh God! You can see his hat there hanging out.
You can start something called like Only Bottles. And it's just
Only
like,
bottles,
it's just all your
empty bottles, empty bottles.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
You
know,
want a
bro.
picture of me with my cap off?
But if not,
Watch me pour this
Instagram.
single malt over
Yeah,
here.
I have him tagged all over my Instagram, guys. So y'all can go check out Brandon there. But anyways, guys, thanks for coming out. Now we're gonna finish the show, and everybody's gonna help me put everything up in my studio.
Because it's probably gonna rain pretty
Yeah,
soon.
Oh, look at that time.
Oh yeah, Brandon. Well, you gotta get the cast
My
iron.
wife's calling.
All right, guys. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for listening, and until next time, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Brandon. Bye.
Bye.